And in 5, 4, 3. And we're live, ladies and gentlemen, in the Digital Studios. This is a show about shows.
What is this? What is
Woo!
this? A show about
It's a
what?
show about shows, baby. We talk TV shows, movies, and all that jazz. I am JPO, Jordan Pierce Owens, joined as always by my main man, Dutch McAllister.
Everybody. How you doing, everybody?
I hope he keeps that up the entire show.
I can. My
Also
voice.
here, the Aviator. Why is he the Aviator? Well, just look at him, ladies and gentlemen.
I am here, and it's a beautiful thing. We are back. We're going to give you a great show.
What
Great
number?
show. Thank you for saying that, Dutch.
It's
'cause
an
this
amazing
is
number.
Episode 30. The Dirty 30, 3-0. We haven't killed each other yet.
We come close.
We come close.
There were moments
Let's
where
get
I
to
thought-
5-0, and then 51 can just be a death match.
there were moments where I thought this show is dead by 15. This show is dead by 10 or 13 or 14. One of these shows are going to be the death of us. And we just
Almost every show sounds like
Yeah.
13 we're done, 14 we're
yeah.
done, 15
Well,
we're done.
I always go in with the optimistic thought process that yes, it could happen. It could happen at any moment.
So-
I personally think it's going to hit about 3,675,000 episodes.
Okay, so your children are
I
gonna
don't
take
think
over.
we're.
Your
Yeah,
sons
yeah.
are going to take over
Take
the
over,
show.
right? Yeah, because
And
we're all dead well before that.
I won't have anybody.
Ooh,
Just
that's something I haven't thought about.
Oh, we just bummed Dizzle.
well, we could
Can't put in visual effects.
every day.
Welcome to the grim reality of a show about shows.
Yes, just if you didn't know it, we're all mortal.
We got a fun show here tonight, Dutch. We're
We
talking
do?
yeah. Way to be surprised. Wow, what? We never do.
Our writers did some good job.
Shut up with the writers.
Our writers
You
did
asked
great.
your coworkers to fill in a couple of missing gaps. and
They're
all
writers. They get credit.
No.
They
Did
should get credits.
Did they have a pen
What
or
are
a
their
laptop?
names?
Did they write down a single thing?
Yes, they
What is
did.
it? Give me a name.
The Dirty 30.
The Dirty 30.
That was written
30?
today. That
I
was
never
written
came
today.
up with that. Like,
What's your name?
She doesn't like to be talked about. She was in her first start.
which again proves she's not a writer. She doesn't want to be credited.
her name is Renetta, so she was there. So that was her contribution.
Thank you.
And then Laura's the one
Whatever.
who came out and helped me revamp the other one. So that was an idea that she had for us. So there we go.
Well, maybe we'll get them in the Medea chair someday to
No.
so you can prove that they're real.
No, we don't do that. We don't do that.
No,
here.
again, Dizzle, just no.
Because he doesn't like. He only brings guests that he wants to bring in.
No, bring a guest. They just have to one want to be on camera and two like movies and TV shows. So,
You mean that's a stipulation?
so
to get
far
in
you
the
guys
media
haven't mentioned anybody. So
chair? Okay. Well, anyway,
Oh, I've got some people.
I got.
bring them in. We're 30 episodes in. We've had one guest because of me. So get up on it, y'all.
Excuse me, everybody.
Oh, okay.
I've been.
So we got
I'm
some
battling
reviews
a little-
coming up for you.
I'm battling a little cold, so if I cough a lot, I apologize ahead of
Been
time.
holding Tyler Perry off for months. But
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get
we're
him.
talking visual
We're gonna go to
effects.
Atlanta. We'll grab him.
And more. Let's get to it, Dutch. Let's start this thing off. 'Cause this-
There's nothing to
it's
show.
gonna be
There's
a
nothing
nice,
coming
healthy
up. There's
show.
nothing coming
Oh
up.
yeah. We
I
always
like to
talk about
plug
that.
you. I don't know why.
Yeah,
Usually
that
it's
sounds
it's an
dirty.
apple in your mouth, the kind of plug.
Yeah,
but
no.
this time we don't have an apple tonight.
November 30th. By the time this comes out, I probably will have already been on iPay-per-view ACW. But check out the replay over at clubwwn.com. ACW, we're doing the Southern Stampede. But coming up next is Tampa Bay Pro in beautiful Tampa. November 30th, I will be there as well. So yeah, a couple of really fun shows. Come check me out at. Hey, we got a stacked show, baby.
We do. Okay, we do have a great show. We have a great show coming up. We got movies that we've all been wanting to watch. We have a movie that we're going to review next week. I can't wait for that review as well. I'm excited really about this. This is the greatest time of year in movies. We all know that. This is the greatest time of year because
Tis the greatest.
I would
time of
argue
year.
summer is the greatest time.
summer is for the biggest blockbusters. For
Yes.
real meaty movies, though, this is the great time of year for me. I love movies.
Sorry to
I'm
Fight
not,
you, Dutch.
but yeah, I just love
What are some
this
movies
time of
that
year.
you watch during this holiday season every year, no matter what?
Oh well,
Home Alone? Are you a Home Alone guy?
no, we've talked about, you guys are Home Alone guys. I am the ref guy. I'm also National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. So
Can I say there's nothing that I don't do stuff like that a lot? Halloween, I will get into the horror mood.
Really?
But there's not really a Christmas. Like, I like Home Alone, but it doesn't mean I throw it on at Christmas.
really,
Yeah, I don't do that. No.
I see. Every year, I have the select few movies that I watch every year. We'll talk about that on a show, in a future show, because I think that should be a good show. What ones do we sit down and cuddle with every year?
Oh, so I just told you I don't have a list.
Well, you
So
don't
I
have a
gotta go
list.
over the
You and I will have a list because there's something I know you probably watch every year, a couple times.
There's a lot of movies that I would like to sit down and cuddle with you on, Jimmy.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll have the cuddle show. We'll have
Let's
the cuddle
do
show.
that.
We'll
We
spin
will
off.
spoon.
We have
just
the
have one camera on all of us.
There's one camera in a
Up-
giant
up
bed.
on the roof.
Absolutely. We'll all be in the bed together watching movies and just
Big giant 70s orgy bed.
that rotates.
Starting the show off.
Can't wait till your kids walk in. Dad, why are you the two chubby guys in bed?
Because I'm the lean protein in the meat sandwich.
We're trying to play Fortnite.
Oh man! So
The show.
the show. Let's just get it going. Let's get it going. The first movie you went to watch. And I was kind of not jealous that you went to watch this without me, but I still wouldn't mind have watched it with somebody I cared for. But it's called Playing with Fire. A crew of rugged firefighters meet when I screwed this one. Meet a bunch of rambunctious kids while they're trying to save them. And life and wackiness comes after the fact. I'm guessing. I really messed up this writing on this one this week.
Playing with fire.
Because you didn't write it.
A crew of rugged firefighters meet their match when attempting to rescue three rambunctious kids.
Thank you.
That's all you need.
That's what I tried. It just kind of fell apart. But it
John
stars-
Cena. Oh, sorry, you got this.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I kind of just screwed up the first part. I got the cast.
all right.
But by the way, John Cena's character, we're going to just talk about it really quick. He's the only one I looked as I went down the list of characters and the names they play. Is the only one that has a last name. Everyone else has nothing but first names, or one's called Doctor something. John Cena, John Leguizamo, Keegan Michael Key, Brianna Hellenbrand, Christian Convery, Finley Rose Slater, and Judy Greer are
And Tyler Maine.
and Tyler Maine that were in the main spots of the cast. So tell me how this was. You went to go watch this with your niece, I believe.
Yes, she saw the trailer and said, I want to see the Fireman movie. And then later on, we actually got her used to saying the John Cena movie. So that was cute.
Okay, that's
John
good.
Cena. So I hate to ever bash on a kid's movie because obviously I think at the end of the day, these movies aren't necessarily meant to be reviewed by critics,
No.
who are looking to thumb down a kid's movie. But I'm about to thumb down a kid's movie.
You won't be the only one, if I'm not mistaken.
I forgot his name, but whoever directed this, I actually literally said to you, I think when we talked about the next day, when we saw other movies together, or later that day, actually, that's right.
Yeah, it was later
I
that
saw
night.
this and met up with you later. I said, this is like a worse version of the game plan. And then it was funny to find out the director of the game plan was the director of this. And if you look at other things, he's done the sequel to Paul Blart Mall Cop. I think Dizzle wants to chime in. Andy Fickman, evidently.
No, there you go.
Very fickle director. I'm sorry, I had to say it.
Very finicky.
I liked the first 5 minutes of this. It had a nice, energy to it, and I liked, Cena and Leguizamo. And like I said, even when you first watch the trailer, like, oh, maybe it's gonna be a fun, zany movie. And then the kids come in, man. That's just where you lose me. The laughs are predictable. They're forced. You've seen this done better. I mentioned to you before that, yes, they're smoke jumpers, not firemen. Actually, that's something that John Cena does mention multiple times. They're smoke jumpers. You see, there's what is that, Suds or whatever? Which again, I feel like we literally saw that exact scene in Game Plan.
Yeah.
And it really was like almost a copy and paste job of. In Game Plan, they're footballers. This one, they're firemen, and they didn't have to be. Other than the first two scenes where they actually deal with fires, they could have been any kind of fill in the blank mall cops, firemen. Just the jokes didn't land for me. Even in the crowd I was in, there was a couple of laughs, here and there. But I even felt like my niece was a little more antsy. I always just assume the more antsier my niece is, the more she's like, kind of looking around, and she had to pee twice, which means like, oh, she's okay leaving for a minute. It just kind of showed that it didn't totally hold her attention either. My other niece though supposedly really liked it as well. And my first niece said she liked it too, but I don't know. I just thought there's not much here. There's better fare for kids. I don't think this is gonna be a big memorable one. It's weird. It's almost worth a watch just to
watch
the stupidity
it.
of it is, but.
Well, okay. I probably won't watch it, but if you had to choose between the two films that you really didn't like this year for kids, because there's two of them that come off. This one in the Addams Family, you didn't like that one much at all. Well, he never watched Dora. But out of those two, which one would you recommend their parents bring them to?
Oh, Addams Family. Because I think Addams Family I gave 2 stars. I'm giving less to this.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
giving this like a 1.5.
1.5.
I just don't think anything really works here. They try to shoehorn in Cena and Judy Greer, and you just don't care about it. You don't totally care about the rushed relationship between him and the kids, and the conclusion that they end up with them is rushed and unbelievable.
If you take the cast, as you said, as a whole, Brianna Halliburton, great actress.
Yeah, you've seen her in Deadpool.
And on the Netflix show that she's on.
Steelers,
also,
Roberts,
you got John Cena, you got John Leguizamo, you got Keegan-Michael Key.
Even Keegan-Michael Key, man. Talk about him. I love Keegan-Michael Key a lot. He's always a great screen presence.
Yes.
And he's trying to work with this script, man. There's scenes, and you even see it in the trailer, where just, they might throw up because she almost shit her pants. And, you could just tell that he's working with nothing, man. You just look at him trying to go and, start up a rambunctious laugh, but it just is not working. I almost, felt bad for Keegan-Michael Key because I was like, man, is he trying to elevate this shit script.
Yeah, and you got all those comedians, and you got a great talent cast. And that's what you get, unfortunately. Whatever the writing
Tyler
is.
Main joke was plotted the first 5 minutes I saw his character.
Yeah, so it's a 1.5 snowflakes.
1.5 for me.
Wow. Well, we're going to change gears. We're going to get into the little festive Christmas mood now. It is called. You can introduce this one. I'll be talking about this one.
Last Christmas.
Yes, the George
Kate
Michael
is
song.
a young woman described to bad decisions. Her last date with disaster. Holy crap, Jim! Your premises suck.
Yeah.
It's called copy and paste, dude.
I know. Sometimes I kind of get off on my own deal.
He didn't do it. His writers did.
No, I can blame the
That
writers
of
on
having
this, can't
accepted to work as Santa's elf for a department store. However, she meets Tom there, and her life takes a new turn. This one stars. I don't like how you list your cast either, so that's a really nitpicky thing. Amelia Clark, Henry Golding, Emma Thompson, and Michelle Yeoh.
Actually, it doesn't matter how you list them, as long as you give them the recognition.
I always put do it in order of really importance and screen presence.
Well, according to appearance, Emily Clark would be third or fourth down there in the bottom, in the very beginning. She wasn't even introduced in the first scene.
Well, it's not about appearances; it's about who's in it more.
But what I'm saying is, I
just found out too. I didn't even realize this is directed from Paul Feig.
Yeah, Paul Feig is the director, written by Emma Thompson as well. Again, this is her second one, I believe, or no, it was Mindy Kaling who did the other one. But last Christmas, I went in with an open mind because if you watch the trailer, you think you've seen everything. I really can't talk about this movie to the point of how it all develops, due to the fact I don't want to ruin it for anybody. I'm always told that I spoil things. I am not spoiling this movie. You will have to watch it. But the chemistry between Amelia Clark and Henry Golding, fantastic. I could watch those two on screen for days. Emma Thompson's character, she plays an old Russian, Yugoslavian, I apologize, mother who just completely is a terrified mother for Amelia's character. Who basically does not, in the very beginning of the film, when you meet her, has nothing that you would want to like, because she's a selfish, self-centered individual. Of course, that changes as the movie progresses. Michelle Yeoh, she is the owner of the store. She loves Christmas. That's why she opened the Christmas store, year-round Christmas store. And that's where Amelia Clark, her character, works. And it's just a development of the character that I really enjoyed to watch. I watched this in a theater of only 2 other people at like 10:30 at night. I think this is the second movie after we talk about another one later. But I thought it was good. I mean, not just only because it was a lot of George Michael soundtrack. I love George Michael, but there was a lot of.
You had faith?
I have a lot of faith. But teacher, that's another one. But anyway, but yeah, it's just a great Christmas film. I think it could become a future classic when I say give it about a decade to marinate, I guess, and then it could come back and then make everyone happy again. But it's a good film. Nothing really bad about it. Excuse me, I apologize. We had a cough button, but I gave it a good 4 snowflakes.
With that review, and I know you told me this before because I almost saw it, but I was kind of late at night. I will probably try to check this out, if not in theaters, but probably in theaters, if not on home video. So
yeah, it's like I said, it's well worth watching. If you don't get to the theater, do get it out there some other way, because it's just to me it's just a good, well put together film. And like I said, I can't go any further, but just watch it. Very interesting. Some people might think it's a bleh at the end, but I thought it was a. You know what? I you know how I always like to listen to the audience a little bit as I'm watching something and already know how it's already developed. Then I'm listening to the people up top, and the lady upstairs was like, "Oh," so she had a great feel.
you also only had one person to judge.
Yeah, well, I had 2, her husband, and
I like to listen to the many.
and I'll be honest with the husband,
2 other people there.
but the husband though actually was like, "Oh," as well. So he was, to have a husband who looked like when he first walked in being dragged to a Christmas movie. You know what I'm saying? To have him being that invested into the film also shows what kind of film it could be.
Wow, you paid a lot of attention to those 2 strangers.
I do. I watch a lot of people. It's not crazy. I like to people watch, and not like you who doesn't pay attention.
And then I was outside of
Let
their bushes.
me just remember Child's Play. Remember that movie? You didn't even know what was going on. There was a lot of shit going on during
there's
Child's
some
Play.
asshole yelling at some other asshole.
Yeah, but
Well, I'm trying to enjoy my popcorn.
Absolutely, you're like, is everything all right?
Don't
up
worry,
there?
Dutch. That movie's on sale on Black Friday. I'm going to buy you a Blu-ray.
Okay, you buy me the Blu-ray of that. I might watch it. Might.
Actually, I'm going to buy myself a Blu-ray.
The next film is a touching tale, a film in which both Jordan and I
Dolomite!
cried extensively at the end. It's called Midway. No, we did not cry, but it was a very, very good movie. It's a story about the Battle of Midway told by the leaders and the sailors who fought it. This one has a great all-star cast. I didn't name them all because I'm bad with. This is all I wanted. Ed Skirrin, Patrick Wilson, Woody Harrelson, Luke Evans, Mandy Moore, Luke Klinentek. What is Kleintek or Klinentek or however you want to say it? Drink a lot. Dennis Quaid.
I'm not even sure. I actually don't know the correct pronunciation.
I think it's
But it
Klintek.
sure hell isn't a Clinton Dunk. Or
I think it's
whatever you said
Klintank
first.
or something.
Probably
Kleintank.
Klein.
Yeah, Kleintank. So anyway, let's go on. Dennis Quaid, Aaron
Denise.
Eckhart, Kian Johnson, and Nick Jonas. I'll start it off, but I got to tell you, this film was very good. You go into these Roland Emmerich films, and you're thinking, oh no, let's hold our breath because we don't know how he's gonna do this. But I'm glad that history kind of guides him on this ride for us. Yes, it's still visually stunning, but it has a decent story as well, and it sticks basically. I don't think he really takes a lot of creative license. Maybe a little bit here and there, but not as much as he would say if it was his own film, of course, because he'd have all carte blanche. So he couldn't really stray away from the facts. And I love it when, I loved just the characterizations of these characters. People keep showing Mandy Moore and saying, oh, she did a great performance. She was only in it for 10 minutes if you were to total it all up.
Probably less.
So to me, I don't see how people could say she did a great job, but she did a great job when she was on screen, I guess.
She's great for what was given, sure.
Yeah, but you can't use that. But yeah, I just found it a very good film. Everyone pulled their own weight. When they showed up, there was a lot of gravitas from Aaron Eckhart's character, and Luke Evans when he shows up. and and it's just a great show, a great film, very well worth watching. If you're a history buff, do watch it. Even if you're not, go and watch it. It's a good film, and it tells about the Battle of Midway, in which if we did not win Midway, we'd all be speaking either German or Japanese at this moment. So go ahead, Jordan. What did you think about this film?
I'm probably with you, maybe a little bit less, I think, than you. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Even when I see Roland Emmerich, he actually sadly takes me out of potentially seeing it, because I just think his last few films have been more style than substance here.
Yeah.
But like you kind of said, you kind of put it pretty perfectly. Of here, you kind of have to have some substance. You can't help but have substance with the story that's being told here and everything. And I thought the performances were pretty good here. Ed Skrein, who is a bad guy from Deadpool, you're rooting for him. I feel like you could transport him into the 1950s. I think he would have worked well as well. Just that real kind of. What did I say? That real nice jaw leading hero.
He's really cut jaw, didn't he? I didn't realize how much of a cut jaw he had until this movie.
And and everyone, man, like when you get a little bit of Quaid, a little bit of Eckhart, Woody Harrelson pops up, throughout it. And so I mean, I think it's a well-made film. It's something we haven't seen before. It's something that we definitely haven't seen done better. But worth checking out if you're into this kind of movie. I think it will, and it will meet your expectations.
Yeah,
for the most part,
absolutely. And there were
it does look good. You can't deny it does look good.
Yeah, it had great eye can't. Just everything about it was better than what you could see. You could watch a lot of other films in there. Like you said, it's not a redesigned wheel, but it just gives it a great look of what it could be, and the stylization is a lot better than most, I would say. With that said, though, I like I said, it was a good film, but it's not one that didn't break, like you said, didn't break any boundaries. But I enjoyed it. It's 3.5, which is a good starting point. It's 3.5 snowflakes from me.
Like I said, I was right on. I'm with you, just a little bit less. I'm at 3.
Okay, I see that's acceptable.
So still a recommendation, I think, from both of us.
Yeah,
and I think too, especially, I think. If you saw a lot of, it made decent money.
Yeah.
Maybe even surpassed expectations a little bit. A lot of older audience members too. I think they'll enjoy it.
And there were a lot of older people watching this film when we went, as well. What do we got next?
Well, we got another. Hey, you liked Last Christmas? I want to know what you thought about Let It Snow.
Oh yeah,
in a small town on Christmas Eve. This seems like just a copy and paste from the last story.
It pretty much is.
A snowstorm brings together a group of young people. This one stars Isabella Merced, Shamik Moore, Liv Houston, Mitchell Hope, Jacob Batalon, Joan Cusack, Odeya Rush, and Kiernan Shipka. Dutch, you saw this. I haven't. It's on Netflix, though, right?
Absolutely. It's on a Netflix. No rush. You can wait till Christmas Eve to watch it if you will. But yeah, I love these movies, as you know. And on top of that, it's like a romantic comedy. The characters are not very well developed, except for one. And I'm going to just point her out. I believe it's Liv Houston. Her character is probably the most fleshed out character. And then Isabella Merced is who played Dora, by the way, and in this year's should have been big hit, Dora in the Golden Temple or something. I don't even know anymore, but she did a great job as well. Her and Shamik Moore teamed up, and it was just a great teaming of those two as a couple that you didn't see coming. But again, you could still watch this, even if I do spoil here and there. It's still going to be an enjoyable film. Jacob Batalon, from the Spider-Man films, shows up in here. Doesn't really have a big part. He's just more like, I just want to have a party, and that's
so he's the character from Spider-Man.
Yeah,
not a big part, but pops up for the
and he's laughs. Here and there, and he just runs the beatbox machine. But yeah, it's like I said though. Kieran Shipka puts on a great performance. Her along with I believe it was I'm bad with names here. Mitchell Hope, I believe. Their characterizations of them knowing each other since they were 5. Mitchell's character says that he's fallen in love with her, and so they finally, it's him trying to tell her how he feels, and she not knowing, about how he feels, and so again, it's all about Christmas. to a point, but it's really just an excuse to have a good teen rom-com, I guess. And it is. It's a paint-by-numbers show. Joan Cusack is there. She's the narrator. She's also the lady in tinfoil who drives the tow truck, and that no one understands who she is, but she's there. And she never explains to us why, and even though everyone asks her why, she says, I'm not going there. But yeah, at the end of the day, love this film. Gave it a thumbs up on the box so they can make more at Netflix. And maybe they'll have Let It Snow Again next year because they love sequels for some movies. I gave it four snowflakes on this. Pretty good. Yeah.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. If you want Dutch to give you a big review, make it around Christmas and have some love interest.
Yeah, it's not always a Christmas thing, but two good rom-coms came out this year, and they happen to be about Christmas as well. They have a little sprinkling of Christmas in it.
Ned Schneebly and Jessica Blumenberg meet on Christmas Day.
Yeah,
Dutch 5 stars.
He's a sucker for that sentimentality and that
I am.
love.
A lot of people think that I have no heart, but unfortunately, the rom-coms have it. They have my heart. So,
Well, I want to talk about another big,
It's gonna make that spooning episode so nice.
absolutely I
big
can't
theater
wait.
review from me and Dutch here. The next one coming up, Jojo Rabbit. We finally saw
Hello there, Jojo.
a World War II satire that follows a lonely German boy whose worldview is turned upside down when he discovers his single mother is hiding a young Jewish girl in their attic. Aided only by his idiotic imaginary friend, Adolf Hitler, Jojo must confront his blind nationalism. This one stars Roman Davis, Taika Waititi, Scarlett Johansson, Thomasin McKenzie, Sam Rockwell, Rebel Wilson, Stephen Merchant, and Alfie Allen. Oh man, I loved this film.
I'm with you, brother.
It from beginning to end. There's some great laughs. I know you liked it just based on because I could hear you laughing a lot.
I laughed a lot through this film. A lot of people didn't, but I was
Very infectious.
I felt like I was the only one laughing sometimes because it was just so dark. It was such a dark film. Yeah,
This thing it has the laughs. It has the feels. Again, just everyone giving a really good performance. Scarlett Johansson, almost maybe semi surprisingly. Actually, you're a hater, aren't you?
I am not a very big fan, but I enjoyed her performance in this film, and
Good to hear.
She did great. Roman, who plays JoJo,
Oh, great! Both kids.
unbelievable.
I don't know how to pronounce the girl. It's Tomasin or Thomason. Or,
Yeah, his best
but
friend
both
in
of them.
that.
Oh, the best friends. I don't have his name. I
forgot his name too, but he was another one. That
All
was
three
hilarious.
kids are fantastic.
I
in
just
this.
loved it how he goes. He goes. It's not a good day to be a Nazi, JoJo. I'm like, an unbelievable kid.
Man,
He's
if-
come up with this idea.
If we were 8,
we would be them.
could have
I
been
think, yeah.
casted as the fat best friend.
Yeah, but yeah, what else did you like about it? Because I'll come in whenever you want me to on that. Because it's just the film alone is of course a farcical film, so you can't take this seriously whatsoever. If you did, then if you're looking for a Diary of Anne Frank, you're not going to get it here, because nothing's really sacred. There's a lot of
There's moments though, man.
there are secret.
There's
There are
there's
some serious
stuff,
moments
you
and
know.
some stuff that you have to come to.
It does go there on every level as far as even dramatic wise too.
Yeah,
So
but I think though I'm awful with his name Taika. I'm awful. I told you, but
who
Taika
plays Hitler?
who plays Hitler again. We've said it before. Fox made him play Hitler. He didn't want to play Hitler, but they made him. But he enveloped a character that you should hate. And you kind of, I still hate Hitler. Don't get me wrong, but to keep, is his characterization of being that farcical was good. And then, of course, at the end of the film, there's a turn as well with that character, and you could understand why, or you could just go back to hating him again, that type of feel. But I thought it was just a great ensemble cast. What was his name? Is Alfie Allen, along with
Sam Rockwell, who's
Sam
a great scene
Rockwell.
towards the end where I'm like, did he just sneak in an Oscar nod?
yeah, and I thought both of those two throughout the whole thing, which is great because they're closeted gays in this film, and you just wait and you just want something to happen, and then of course it pays off a little bit at the end. And it gets a little serious again at the end. But I just thought the relationship between him and the girl in the closet, unbelievable. Between JoJo and the girl. Everything about this film, it just hit. Another hit, my friend, out of this ballpark. Just at the Regal, just down here, and it's a hit. It's a smash hit out of the ballpark. Another great film by tell me his name again because I'm bad with the name.
Taika Waititi.
Yes, Taika Waititi.
you
I still say it wrong, but I just call him
Jesus.
TW is my new name for him. But TW does a great job in writing, directing, and just even acting because he's just.
And he's a great screen presence too. Like I hope he does more. It reminds me of Seth MacFarlane of how they were behind the scenes sometimes, but now I like when they're in front of the camera as well.
Yeah, so to me, this one should have awards all over it. I believe. I even think Scarlett Jo should probably get a nom for Best Supporting Actress in this film.
It's possible. I see ScarJo, Rockwell, the screenplay, all getting nods.
Yeah, and I think director as well. I'm going to throw in that in for TW as well.
There you go. Just call him TW.
Yeah, TW is his new name. So on, I give this a beautiful 4.5. Snowflakes. And it's just to me, it was just an incredible film. Yeah, I know I've given things that are 5s that sound crazy, but 4.5 is very good for this film. And
I'm not going to argue you because I can show you proof. We don't do this. We don't talk about ratings beforehand. 4.5 myself, my friend. So
yeah. And it's a
very solid recommendation. I flirted with 5.
I
5.
I did.
But I'm gonna go 4.5.
Yeah.
This is what T-Gate thinks of you guys' ratings.
What did he say?
He's mildly happy with it.
He's very, very happy that we.
One of the 5.
But we don't give them all. But now we got to do some revisited films.
Some real quick from me, some revisited stuff that Dutch saw without me because he hates me. First of all, on Netflix, Dolomite.
I was at home for this one.
Dolomite is my name. The star of Rudy Ray Moore created the iconic big screen pimp character Dolomite in the 70s. This one starred Eddie Murphy, Keegan-Michael Key again, actually with something really good to do. Divine Joy Randolph, Craig Robinson, Mike Epps, Titus Burgess, Cody Smith McPhee, Ron Cephas Jones, Snoop Dogg, and Chris Rock. I had fun with this, guys. I think this is one of the better Netflix films out there. Again, some good laughs. A couple of nice moments here. I actually thought Divine had a breakthrough performance here.
Yep.
Her and Murphy share some good chemistry. And not even romantic chemistry, just friendship chemistry, which is nice to see that they didn't shoehorn in anything more or less from that. I also just love movies. This almost gave me Bowfinger vibes of movies that are about making a movie. And wait, what? Did you just roll your eyes? You don't like Bowfinger?
I don't like Bowfinger.
Bowfinger is freaking awesome, man.
No, let's stay on track here. Let's stay on track because Bowfinger is not my favorite, and you
we
cannot
gonna fight.
Now. Here's the deal: if you compare it to Bowfinger, some people may not like Bowfinger like me, and I would just not watch Dolomite. I'll be honest with you. That's how that would work. If I don't like,
Well, I'm a fan of both, so I think Bowfinger is better than this.
Eddie's
So.
listening intently.
He is, and Eddie, and it's great to see Eddie in a good performance. One that's a little dual layered. It's definitely not like Dreamgirls where he's going to get an Oscar nod, with this performance. But he does have some great shining moments, both from a comedic and just standing as a good, true leading man too, which is great to see because it seems like he's disappeared these last few years after not some lackluster film roles. So it's great to see him back in the leading role in a really fun, worthwhile movie. I give this one 3.5 snowflakes.
okay, so it sounds like you gave it a thumbs up on that one.
Oh yeah, for sure, thumbs up. And coming up next year, the 6th in the franchise, Terminator: Dark Fate. More than 2 decades have passed since Sarah Connor prevented Judgment Day, changed the future, and rewrote the fate of the human race. Now Danny Ramos is living a simple life in Mexico City with her bro and father, and a highly advanced, deadly new Terminator Rev 9 travels back in time to hunt and kill her.
Get to the chopper. Oh, wrong movie.
Man,
I'm sorry.
people are always trying to kill these people. This one stars Mackenzie Davis, Linda Hamilton, Natalia Reyes, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and Gabriel Luna. So not everyone has liked a lot of these past few Terminators. I'm a little bit of an apologist for the 4th and 5th one. I thought Salvation at least had some interesting ideas.
Yeah.
And Genesis was an okay action romp. This one's probably the best of the last few. Probably the best since the first 2. But it's still not great.
It's a perfect third.
I wouldn't say perfect third, but it's a very doable, acceptable third. This thing I felt at least this one was very, focus and knew where it was going and knew, okay, we're basically doing the plot of the second one again, which is, this time protect the girl instead of protect the young boy. And, you can come with me if you want to live and all that. And you shoehorn in a little bit of that nostalgia. Linda Hamilton, who in general we don't see much of, let alone in this franchise. We haven't seen her since the second movie back in 1992 or 93. So it's great to see her back kicking some ass. Even Arnold, they put him in there again. Don't totally get or love his backstory, but they definitely could have done worse or a little more convoluted if they had to. So I thought this was fun. It's a perfectly acceptable action movie. Fun on the big screen as well, too, if you haven't seen it.
No, continue. I was thinking of something.
I'm about to wrap up, so what's up?
Well, what I was thinking. I was reading some today, and they made a great point. Arnold Schwarzenegger's character, the T-800. I'm not going to give away any plot points in that, but would you be a thought process of what you know about that character in that third? Well, I'm calling it the third movie at this point. The third movie in this supposed franchise. If you were to take that character and maybe go after the fact of what happened in the beginning, and then follow that character up to that point, would that be an interesting movie? About how the development of that one character becomes.
Yeah, but I'm afraid it'd be too slow of a movie because he doesn't really fight for the next 40 years, does he?
Well, no, but he does. He does protect a family. That we find, and right there as a little spoiler. I apologize, but it's just the character building thing, and I think it would work possibly, but.
I definitely don't knock it. I think it would be kind of interesting, maybe a better TV show or so, maybe like a 1-season TV show.
That would be okay. Yeah.
It's not a bad idea at all.
So how many did you give this?
I'm gonna give this one just a solid 3.
Okay. So I was a half a star. I'm a half a snowflake above you.
Yeah, and I wouldn't argue that much either. Just well, like I said, I think worth checking out if you like Terminator, like an action flick. Unfortunately, it looks like people just weren't interested in this from the box office standpoint. He didn't even debut number 1, which is crazy. Yeah. A lot of people didn't see that coming. I think, unfortunately, people it's one of those, they've been burnt too much.
Well, here's the funny.
We've seen the Schwarzenegger thing. We've seen the James Cameron thing.
I'm hearing a lot of funny backstories. If you just listen to the press and all that, or you listen to Linda Hamilton has some great backstory on this. Before she even knew this movie was being made, James Cameron and her, as you know, were married at one time.
I only was reminded this last week or so.
And she got a phone call from James Cameron. She completely denied it. Kept denying it. Finally, she said she called about the 8th time. She picked up the phone and said, "What the fuck do you want?" And he goes, "I got a movie for you." And she's like, "Yeah, whatever." And I don't know why you even bothering me. And then the next thing you know, he says, "I want you to reprise your role in the Terminator part." And she goes, "Oh, okay, fine, we'll do that then." And then that was the last time she ever communicated with him. Yeah, so I thought that was kind of funny. And then there's one where they're talking about her, and she's worked out. She's very buff in this film. And they said, "Well, you're going to need to put some breast augmentation on to make you have bigger breast and fill in where your butt is as well." And she goes, "Here I am. I'm looking good. I have a great physique. And here you want me to have a fuller physique to a point?" And that's what happened. They said, "Yes, you're going to have to do that." So if you ever watch that movie again, you'll know that she has padding in her bra and in her buttocks now area. So those are kind of weird stories that came out. And this is what Linda Hamilton is saying. So you got to take it with a full grain. Of what happened. So yeah, there you go. Well, that was my aside from that. Very interesting. Anything else we got? Any other movies?
No. All right, well, I'm just about done with the broad padding on Terminator.
No, I don't think we have
I just feel
anymore.
like it's a done franchise.
Yeah.
Did they progress it? Did they ever get better after the first 1 or 2?
No, if you listen to my review, I talked about that.
Well, no. It's just not just you don't have to listen to him to know these things. But they had some shots at making it better. They just didn't understand that they should have followed a storyline instead of all of a sudden saying, "It sounds good to be a part of a movie." And that's what it felt like most of the time when they made these movies. They just basically said, what makes this sound like a good sci-fi film? And they didn't really give a crap about anything else. They just went with what they thought was going to be good. Instead of going with a lore, because they could have gotten through the comics, they could have gone through fan fiction, they could have, like the Sarah Connor Chronicles on Fox, the television show, great show. It just failed because I think what it is what we're seeing here is that people have been burnt so many times, franchise fatigue. It's just that type of deal that's going on. For
better or for worse, I think you're gonna need to give this thing like a decade, or if not longer, to cool down and die, get out of people's minds. Because, like I said, I think this movie could have been great. Yeah. And some people say it is great. Some people are giving this like 4 or 5 stars review.
Yeah, it is.
This thing could have been great. I don't think it would have mattered for the box office. I think people were just, unfortunately, they've just felt too burned. We've seen you say James Cameron. We saw him in interviews for Genesis. We saw Arnold Schwarzenegger back for Genesis. So
Cameron had nothing to do with that, though.
But to the average fan, though, they didn't know that because they poured him out in interviews as if he did have something to do with it.
Yeah, well, I understand that, and like you said, though, it is franchise fatigue. I think, as you said, probably about a decade down the line, we're going to watch this again, and we're going to appreciate this film where it needs to be appreciated. And
so in episode 4673,
yes, it should be appreciated.
10 years down the road,
it should be
come back to this.
It should be appreciated by then. And I got to tell you, you got to write that in your. You put that on your Google Calendar if you can. But yeah, I found the film like you about serviceable out of 3.5 levels, where I did 3 for you. I thought the Dolomite again was a little better than what you thought it was, but I believe I had it at a 4, I believe, or 3.5, maybe 3.5. You had it at a 3, right? So about little same. So that's good. At least we're on the same page on most on these films, right? So the next thing we're going to talk about a new old subject that we usually have. Got to flip the page over. It's called Deja Vu.
Heck yeah! Party on!
Yeah.
Rock out! With
Deja Vu.
See, there you go. Finally, we're back in business. But yes, Deja Vu. We've decided that I'm tinkering with this one. We'll probably tinker again because we haven't had a lot of success in the past with it. So we brought it back out. Jesus Christ, my ear.
That's the end of that. I'm having a headache.
Oh, my God. That scared the hell out of me. But that's all right. That's all right.
give you a deja vu.
That's all right. I did. I flashed the first 20 years of my life. But yes, Deja Vu. We're going to go instead of the month the movie came out. We decided to open it up a little bit to the year the movie came out. So this year's the review that the review year that we've settled upon in the writers' room was 1987. That's the number that.
Quit having writers' meetings without us, Jim. Okay, you can't make all these decisions.
I try to do my best without you guys, but this might not be the best year. But again, 1987 is what popped up randomly in conversation in the writers' room. You guys will one day be able to come into the bullpen if you need to. So, but yeah, that came out.
Thank you.
See, there you go. See, you're welcome, sir. You're welcome. So 1987. So the next time we come on, we'll all have a film prepped and ready to dish out to us, and we'll watch them and we'll come back to it at the end of that. Next, by the third show, we'll have the answers to all your Deja Vu needs and wants. So
real quick.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The Princess Bride.
Yeah, 1987 has a lot of films.
Yep.
So
Full Metal Jacket, Empire of the Sun.
See, a lot of good ones.
It's
So,
going to be a good.
but again, Ishtar might come up. I don't know yet. If Mr.
Dirty Dancing, Fatal Attraction.
So,
Witches of East.
yeah, you got a whole year to choose, and that's how it goes. So, Jordan, if you could introduce the next subject for me, while I cough over here.
Visual effects.
Yes, I got a cough for a second.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do the top 10 visual effects movies. This is Dizzle's idea from last week. We're going to talk about visual effects. That could be CGI, that could be practical, that would just whatever came to us that we thought, man, this is something that's cool to look at, baby. Dizzle, it's your baby, so let's start it off with you, baby.
All right. Well,
you have a 5 or a 10.
Here's the situation. I've kind of went in a weird direction with this.
Uh-oh.
Instead of just VFX, I've went with the stuff over my lifetime that were
That's
great,
fine.
decent with VFX at that time that I have all I fell in love with and that
Yeah, that's fine. That's how we're going to go about it. So you're
and
all set.
new and old or whatever. There probably are some honorable mentions and stuff like that, but I'll start with Pirates of the Caribbean. Now I'm not going to go individually into each one or whatever, but the series in general that'll be
No, that's fine. I have one myself where it's
that'll
more
be
about
good.
the trilogy than it is just about one in particular.
Yeah.
Is that your number 10 or your number 5?
That'd be number 6, honorable mention, number 5.
Then what's your number 5?
Cloverfield.
Okay.
Cloverfield.
Interesting one. So my honorable mentions, basically my 10 through 6, are Jurassic Park, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Blade Runner 2049, Jungle Book, and The Matrix. Did not crack my list. But my number 5, I'm going to start off with one that we're still hearing about the sequels coming out for the last 40 years.
Fallen Angels, the Fallen series.
The hell are you talking about?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said something that's we're going to keep hearing for more and more coming out.
Fallen Angel.
You know the Fallen Angel and the Olympus Has Fallen, and the Fallen stuff.
Oh, who's this Fallen? Number 5 is Avatar, people. James Cameron, we're talking about him before. He was with Linda Hamilton, and I guess she hates him now. But he made a really cool film with Avatar, and it's become a little bit fun to dig on, it seems like, these last few years. But if you were around when that movie first came out, obviously everyone saw it. It made a shit ton of money.
Yep.
It was visually stunning to look at. There's even a funny thing, if you guys remember this, the Avatar sadness, where people were so sad they couldn't live in that world because they wanted to be one of the blue cats or whatever they were.
Yeah.
And
a lot of weirdos. A lot of weirdos out there.
A lot of weirdos. So that's my number 5. What you got, Dutchy?
Well, I don't have any honorable mentions because I really wanted to just focus on the 5 that I thought I found visually stunning. In my years. But I'm gonna go with the first one, Pacific Rim. I thought Pacific Rim was very well done. I mean, I haven't seen that in a long time. Whenever it came out, it was a great look. Guillermo del Toro does it again when it comes down to almost like a Pan's Labyrinth type feel. If you were to have an honorable mention, that would be one of them. But yeah, Pacific Rim, loved it. I just thought it was just a great mashup of everything that I've always loved as a child, and it was very fun. It wasn't the second one, the first one. So, what else we got going on? Who's next?
I
Clockwise.
will go. I will have
You're
to
the
agree.
host.
Well, I'm going to throw an Avatar
Keep it
in
going.
there also. I did like Avatar. So, but so what are we on? We're on 4.
We're on number 4.
All right, 4. Okay, I'll go with Curious Case of Benjamin Button then. But then I will put Avatar right in there next to Pirates of the Caribbean and Cloverfield.
Yeah.
But my number 4 will be the Curious Case of Benjamin Button. I love that movie. How he went back and did all of that. I could watch that movie 100 times. I liked the story. I liked everything about it. It's one of those
Little baby Brad Pitt.
dear to me over the years.
Yeah, I like that the old boy that came out, and then they kind of it just worked. I mean, it just worked, and I thought the practical effects, digital effects that they put in were just unbelievable. I mean,
Finally happened.
it was very good.
The technology to do it.
They finally they wanted to digitally make Brad Pitt look old. Now look at him; he's weathered now, and that's not you don't even need special effects for it, But still a handsome man. Still a handsome
What a
man.
weird side shit talk of Brad Pitt you just did.
You know what? That happens. It's like Robert Redford, such a beautiful man, but
you
look
know
at him
what?
now.
If he's going to decline,
Stay out of the sun. That's all I gotta say, kid. Stay out of the sun.
If he's going to decline Jimmy's request to be in the chair, then Jimmy can bash him.
Yes.
You know what I mean? If he's not going to come in and be part of it,
He will. He
defend
will.
himself.
He will
then
defend
he's gonna
himself.
Take the wrath.
He will defend himself. Trust me. What do you got for number 4, Jordan?
My number 4 is pretty recent, or a few years ago. Christopher Nolan. Might not be the last time I talk about Christopher Nolan. Interstellar with Matthew McConaughey. And this is kind of an
Very
interesting one
good.
because I don't know if I would have it in my top 10 or 5 even of that year as far as a film. But, I mean, we just look at effects-wise.
We're looking at stunningness and the
yeah,
glamour.
I just think this thing is beautiful looking. The stuff in space, even the stuff at home.
Yeah.
I just think it all looks just gorgeous. Very seemingly done. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. I know Nolan's not is going to come up again on yours. I understand that, and I can see where you're going with that too. So I'm gonna stay away from it. So I am going to go with my number 4, the original Blade Runner. I found you had Blade Runner 2049, great movie, great effects, but the original Blade Runner blew my mind as a kid. It was like, it's Star Wars, of course, it was before, I believe, but this movie, it was just so good. As you know, Harrison Ford, Rutger Hauer, and a few others, but it was, to me, it was just a good movie, but it was also just beautiful
Edward James
effects.
Olmos.
Yeah, beautiful effects. And to this day, it kind of set the bar in the early days of what you can do with effects. It just set the great bar. So that was my number 4, the original Blade Runner.
I like that also.
So what?
And number 3, I guess I'll go with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
Kind of, I like that. I thought
like
they
that.
finally got that puppet down pat. I loved the soundtrack to that movie. Even I like that. A lot of movies like that haven't really got me, but that one I actually enjoyed that one.
yeah, I like that one. It's again a visually stunning film. I like it how the Rocket Raccoon just looked just perfect.
Great attitude.
Groot, it just seamlessly moved in. This is what I'm saying.
Good examples of if it didn't look good, it might draw you out.
Yeah.
Because then you might start to make fun of, it's a tree and a raccoon. It looks
Yeah, if you
fake
had
as
this in
shit.
the '80s, it would be like a real hard
Howard the
puppet
Duck.
and Howard the Duck feel, and maybe a Yoda if you really want to look at it. But
Good film it is.
from the latex puppet time. But that's your number 3, correct? So that's Guardians of the Galaxy. What do you got?
Lord
there?
of the Rings 3 it is. Lord of the Rings, the first
trilogy,
trilogy. Just in general, kind of like he was mentioning
Yeah.
before. I think a really great blend of practical along with CGI, depending on what you need, what it calls for. One that actually, I would literally put this over The Hobbit because I think The Hobbit led too much on CGI sometimes, and it took you out of battles and moments where it's like, they're fighting a video game. A little bit more practical and seamlessly done in the Lord of the Rings trilogy. I felt with Peter Jackson.
No, I agree 100%. It makes you want to go like I want to go to take about a month and just go to New Zealand to go hobbit hunting. Go to the hobbit sites. Because that's the kind of because you had the scenery, which to me is an effect nonetheless. Of New Zealand, the beauty of New Zealand, along with all these extras that you talked about, unbelievable. So yeah, I commend that whole franchise as well. My number 3. It's a toss up, but I went with T2, Terminator 2. Talking about Terminators, to me that one broke all new grounds again. James Cameron wanted special stuff to happen, and guess what? James Cameron makes that happen. That's how he does it with Titanic. That's how he does it, because that's why it took so long for Avatar to get in. Why didn't it get made? Well, because the cameras weren't there. Why wasn't it done? Because the computing wasn't there. And Cameron makes sure these things take place because he puts his money where his mouth is. That's why they have a camera that Cameron makes, and they still use it to this day, and he gets royalties from. So yeah, T2 to me, it was just great effects, better than the first one in '84 or '85. I think it was '84, right? So, but yeah, so it was a lot better. And it was an upgrade, and it shocked the world when it came out of how beautiful it was. So that was my number 3.
Yeah, fantastic film. Dizzle, what's your dose?
Uno dose. We are my number 2. Okay. When I came down to 2 and 1, it might not even be so much. Yeah, I guess it is. I just went with my all-time favorites your childhood, something that you looking back on what's had the biggest impact or whatever. So my number 2 will be Star Wars, the original Star Wars series.
Yeah.
Just blew me away watching that at the Kon-Tiki Theater or whatever, and the lines around them. Nobody had ever seen anything like that, and that still holds me to this day. I don't see the later ones never did so much. When I was in Ireland, I did happen to go up to those mountains and stuff.
Yeah,
And the
I've
people
seen
that
those
were
too,
on
yeah.
the boats, the Chewbacca's, and everybody was dressed up in Star Wars characters on the boats to go to
Go
those
across,
mountains or whatever.
Yeah.
But the original Star Wars, Yoda, Luke Skywalker, and Harrison Ford running through and all that, Princess Leia, I loved it.
Yep.
All-time classic for me. And I hope that there's something like that my kids will enjoy. as much as I enjoy.
I was just watching a YouTube video. It was comparing the original theatrical release to like one of the more updated ones because George Lucas has since gone and like done shit over.
Yeah, he
and
did,
added
yeah.
more effects.
And people are
like,
more
oh,
upset.
this scene needs 3 more characters in the background, or even if you watch the first theatrical release in the cantina, there's like a Wolfman character.
Yeah.
that they later on was like, oh, that's a cheap wolf mask. Let's just and they
Yeah.
replaced it with like a tentacle thing or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's interesting to see the comparisons. My number 2 is I mentioned Mr. Chris Nolan popping back up, and that's Inception.
Yeah, I had a feeling you were going to go there.
Woo, I just think again, like maybe not the most craziest effects, although those bridges and like the landscapes itself, but just another just beautiful looking movie that you can see where the money went. Sometimes you look at movies, you go, where did all that money go? You can see where the money went here.
Rotating stages, that's where it went.
a great film too, and just I love Inception overall, from look wise to conception to everything.
No, I'm going to jump off track just 2 seconds here. Was there talks? I don't know. I think there may have been talks for an Inception 2.
Oh, sure, there was definitely talks,
but I don't know if that's. I think that's just been put on hold for right now. But
it's one of those things that I feel like if it hasn't happened now, maybe never, or maybe just finally when they're like, okay, now let's.
Sometimes
now
you can't keep going for the gold.
Yeah.
You got to let it go. I'll be on my second one. It was a tough one to put on here, but after I thought about what kind of category we're talking about, I just went with it. I like King Kong Skull Island. To me, just the way they finally developed King Kong. They finally have him texturized, movement wise. It was just unbelievable. You could also say that with Godzilla. So I don't know if I could put them in the same series. If I could, I would, because they're part of the Monarch, type, films. But to me, King Kong, again, even when you're facing those dragons or those whatever they were, what I'm talking about, those big lizards that he was fighting, great effects, great pyro, great just everything about it was just a great movie. And it just brought joy to me that they respected Kong even better than Peter Jackson ever did. But yeah, King Kong Skull Island.
Did you ever ride the ride over at Universal?
No, it was still being built when I was there.
I did.
Which one? The original or the old one? Or
I'm talking about the one in the 90s.
oh no, they have a new one.
Oh,
They have a new skull ride. Yeah.
And he's right at the end. There's a big giant. His face is right at the end of the ride, and it's freaky.
Yeah. See,
I remember loving the original one. I still have to this day a King Kong plush and the T-shirt that I used to wear.
You could take a picture with you in his hand or something back in the day.
Oh, I don't think I did that.
believe,
I don't
but,
remember.
that's what I thought about King Kong. So
That
what?
T-shirt no longer fits.
What? None of my T-shirts ever fit anymore. From back then too. I was a kid. You can never find that.
Time has come, ladies and gentlemen. Dizzle,
It's time.
what's your number 1, man?
Now it might not just be visual effects or whatever, but I had to on this
Medea.
one. What happened is
Yes.
What's that?
Medea. Because those effects.
Hallelujah.
No, this one. I had a VHS tape. I don't know how I got it. It's one of those deals that when you're home
VH what now?
and then every time I would watch this and watch this and watch this along with the Breakfast Club or whatever, but somehow I got 2010 A Space Odyssey, and I loved that movie.
I don't know how you got it considering it
The
doesn't
2001.
exist.
2001.
No, not one. 10. I
Oh yeah,
liked
there is a
2010.
2000. Yeah, I think there is a 2010.
Yeah, it wasn't a Stanley Kubrick one. That one, I watched that one
Put
actually
yourself on camera.
later on, but I loved it. I loved 2010.
I believe there is a 2010.
With and that one was easier to follow along because it actually had a storyline. Stanley Kubrick 2001
That was all.
probably was ahead of its time and all that, but that one didn't get me like 2010 did.
Yeah,
Now,
and that was
since
good.
then,
Yeah.
I've fallen in love with Stanley Kubrick, and we can go into a lot of his effects stuff or whatever.
Yeah, and that was with old Roy Schneider. Yeah, I remember
Roy
that now.
Schneider,
Yeah.
yeah, and I did love that. Yep. And
What's
I
Roy
liked
Schneider?
him.
He's in that movie?
Yeah, he's John
He's a
Lithgow,
scientist.
and John Lithgow and Helen Mirren, and A few other good kids.
And he ends up going out. Where does he go, to Jupiter or one of those?
Yeah, Saturn. Yeah, Jupiter. Yeah, Jupiter. I think might have been Saturn. One of those.
Yeah.
Jupiter nearby that deal. But no,
And that movie, I just could watch it over and over and over again about the monoliths and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
I had, like I said, I had it on VHS tape. I watched it for 10 years there throughout my childhood. And
yeah, 2001. If you were going with the Kubrick one, that one was kind of above our heads. I think at that time, but this one.
it still is.
Yeah, he's out there in his own little world. Kubrick was still, as you know, he's in Eyes Wide Shut. I still have yet to figure out that movie.
Oh, that's why it's
But-
not called The Space Odyssey. It's just called 2010.
Yeah,
John
But it's-
Lithgow, Helen Mirren, Bob Balaban.
yeah, but it's a good movie, and it's no, we always called it a space odyssey anyway because it was always that it is in space and it is an odyssey. But again, yeah, you're correct. It wasn't probably named that, but we remember 2010. We loved it. So
That was my number one.
no, that's a good choice. That's a very good choice. Jordan, what do you got, boss man?
I got the fact that movie exists. All right, I don't know. My number one, maybe it's a controversial choice. It's a movie I actually mentioned a couple of weeks ago.
The Last Action Hero.
I love practical effects. My number one is John Carpenter's The Thing from 1982.
Very good, very good.
Stuff
I liked it.
of nightmares.
Yes, it
That
is.
will last with you to this day. In 2019, 1982 did it perfectly.
Yeah.
Take your time. You're gonna spend money on fucking CGI anyway. Spend it on practical, man. Even the remake, there's a couple of CGI ones.
And they weren't as good.
And here's the sad part. They had started testing the practical ones, and at some point, some producer just went, "No, I'll just screw it. Let's do CGI."
Yeah.
And the tests are fucking great.
I know,
of,
that's what I'm
of the
saying, yeah.
practical.
Absolutely.
So I still to this day, I mentioned movies like I Am Legend and even The Hobbit, like I said before, where it takes you out when you're just like, oh, you're battling a CGI character, and it takes you out of that moment. The best parts of I Am Legend is the first 10, 15 minutes before you see the villain, because you just have that moment of him in the dark and trying to avoid him. Then once you see him, it loses a lot of luster because they're just so fake.
It's almost like it's almost Relic of Jaws.
Yeah,
The
before you
the
see the
reason
shark.
why it worked is that you couldn't see it, and
Yeah.
and so that's what sometimes when practical effects do go wrong, it's always in a good favor of yourself as well. But yeah, my number one though, I could have gone with the whole series, but my favorite of all the series is still today, and it's the one that George Lucas did not direct.
2015, A Space Odyssey.
No. George Lucas did not direct this one. Empire Strike Back. To me, it's the best, well written. I know I'm going on that part too, but practical effects, along with at the time great modern effects, all used together in one film. And to me, it just holds to this day. Just watching it, the battle of when Luke loses his hand and he's holding on outside of the sky city, he's just holding it, holding and waiting, and then he drops down into the Millennium Falcon. And then, of course, at the end, when they're putting it together and he's doing this with his hand, he's just moving his hand up and down, and you can see the gears in his, and I'm like, that is just unbelievably cool. And I honest to God, when I was little, because I was little when that thing came out, I was like, could they really do that? That is so cool. You can have a real robot hand. Of course, my parents have to say, no, Jim, no, that's not what happened. If he would have lost his hand, he would have really lost his hand. But, so they kind of ruined that effect for me, but it was so cool.
You were this close to chopping off your hand.
Yeah, just to get a mechanical hand like Luke.
And then when they closed it up, it was a perfect seal.
Yes,
And
yes,
I know,
the
when
seal.
I saw that stuff stays with me to this day.
So Empire Strikes Back was, to me, the best. And of course, Yoda was a latex puppet. And of course, he didn't like it, George Lucas, because his ears would be moving without, when the hand was moving, his ears would go a little flippy, and I don't mind, we didn't care. We just loved the character of Yoda. So, but yeah, Empire Strikes Back's my number one FX film of my choice.
Special effects.
Special effects choice. So, I think that's great. So we did all our 5. We're all good. We didn't really overlap though, did we? We never overlapped once during this whole.
Well, y'all both had Star Wars.
Yeah, he had the whole thing as a whole. I had just one that I liked, so that was really the only overlap we had.
We had different Blade Runners.
Yeah, we had 2 different Blade Runners of the same series. So there we go. That's
That
great.
original Blade Runner, I didn't see that one until years later, but it did blow my.
I saw it like 3 years ago.
And then I bought the Blu-ray of it. I still have the
Yeah,
Blu-ray.
that's pretty cool. And did they have a lot of? Did they have a special stuff on the back, like commentary? Or?
Just that whole haze, yeah. And
Well, that first one, there's multiple endings too.
Yeah. I haven't seen all the multiple endings. I just saw. I just believe that if you have a multiple ending and sometimes the extended cut, then the theatrical, then they had the director's cut, then they had the director's assistants and director and the mom's cut. You know, I don't like all those things. Give me what was
the
pure
Ford cut.
Yeah, just give me the pure film.
Him grumbling over.
And I'm happy with the original cut every time. So the next segment we have is what I like to call "What You Watching?" And I made this because I needed to have this happen tonight because it just came out. It just launched Disney Plus Network. And
Disney Plus, Disney
there's
will
only
own your
one-
soul.
Yeah, Disney will own everyone's soul, like Google. But here's the deal.
The mouse says,
Don't
"Bye,
make me
bitch."
laugh. I'll start coughing again. But no, so I made this happen. I called Jordan up before I eat last night
million day
as I
one.
was driving. I was like, brother, I know. Did you get this? I know you were going to get it because I need to have this as a talking point tonight, and we could be almost up to date with things in life. But I said, did you have Disney Plus? And he goes, yeah. Why? And I said, do a deep dive and tell me everything you know about it. So what you watching, Jordan? I know it's the Disney Plus show. Can you tell me what's going on with that for a second? Can we talk about reviews? Whatever you got going on it right
So
now. Tell
I
me.
just finished Daybreak on Netflix, and it's a really fun show. Yeah, I watched the entire first season. It's about a post-apocalyptic high school. Most of the
That's on Netflix, sir.
I know it's called What You Watch. It's not called.
Well, I wanted to
what
go-
you want to talk about. We're gonna get
yes,
there.
no, we're going
Daybreak's
there
a fun
first.
show.
Don't watch
Matthew
Daybreak.
Broderick's good in it.
Don't watch it.
Oh, okay, fine. We
Just
can talk-
get
talk
there.
about
Then you
Disney
can watch
Plus.
your other. You can watch Daybreak later, please.
I
Just
finished
I know,
Daybreak.
but just tell me about it later. But just give me this one right here, the one we all want, the one we all
Oh, Captain
need.
Marvel. What? Disney Plus is out.
There it is,
Yeah.
Disney Plus.
I mean, yeah, it's a fun app. I have Verizon, so I actually get the first year for free, I think.
Wow.
So
You
yeah,
gonna
just,
share your sign on?
Oh, I'm already on a thing with my brother and everything, so we already have too many.
Multiple sign-ons.
I don't know how many there are. I don't know if they've come out with that info
At least
yet.
5.
Oh, then I think we're capped out because it's him. I think we have 5.
You bastards.
My picture is Spider-Man.
Okay.
But as you might or might not know, it's got a lot of the archives. Your Davy Crockett is on it.
Yeah, I told you. How about Zorro? The Zorro show.
I had to look. I didn't look up your Zorro.
Okay.
Lots of Don Knotts from back in the day.
I love
He's
Don
on
Knotts
it.
shows. He was in the Apple Dumpling Gang series.
Yeah, 2 of those movies are on there.
What? Only 2? He was in like 7,000 of them, it seems. But yeah, the Apple Dumpling Gang was something
Yeah,
I grew
Apple
up
Dumpling
with.
Gang, and then the Apple Dumpling Gang rides again.
Yeah.
A lot of cartoons. I was happy to see you got. I mentioned Spider-Man.
Yeah.
The Spider-Man cartoon from the '90s is on there.
No, from MTV or
Huh?
is it the MTV version?
No, you say this. You always get that wrong.
I don't know why.
From the '90s.
I don't
no,
know when was the one with the MTV one.
that was Neil Patrick Harris from 2000, early 2000s.
Is it
no,
on there? No.
huh?
Is that on there?
I don't think the Neil Patrick Harris one is actually no.
Oh, okay.
But there's lots of other ones. There's Spider-Man from the '90s. That's a really good one from Fox originally.
Spider-Man and Friends.
I think that's on there. Ever seen Spider-Woman?
It's
one season from the
yeah,
70s.
it was very short-lived.
Yeah, that's on there. I'm not gonna watch that just because I don't like old cartoons.
Give
They don't
it a
do much
shot.
for me.
Come on.
But the X-Men from the '90s is on there.
Love that series.
X-Men Evolution, X-Men, Wolverine and the X-Men, Fantastic Four, Incredible Hulk, the Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy cartoon, which I'm looking forward to that because I've never seen
I've
that.
never heard of it. Yeah. So.
Yeah, no, that was on like Disney Plus or not Disney Plus.
Is it an original or is it old?
I mean, it's after the first show or so, so you know.
Oh, okay. So it's most recent.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
No, it's within the last few years, yeah. And obviously, other than that, I just watched The Rocketeer for the first time. I'm watching the one. What is it? Sandcastle? Was it with the kids in the baseball?
The Sandlot.
Sandlot. I'm watching The Sandlot now.
Sandcastle.
Never seen
but there
that.
is, I think that is a.
I just started it, so I don't know.
There's like
yet.
3 in there, or 2 or 3.
Sandlots?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I'm watching the first one.
Watch the first one. Don't go
Oh,
any
no,
further.
I don't
go
think
any
I would.
further. Yeah.
No, it's because I don't know. Like I said, I'm more of a recent guy. It's got to be 90s and above for the most part. Yeah, you don't like hearing that. I know.
It hurts me every time.
I know.
That's why this 87 is good for you.
Yeah, I know. You're making me watch an 80s film.
Yeah, hey, 87 is. You might be able to find something on Disney Plus. They own everything, so you should be able to find a Fox movie or a Disney film somewhere on there.
The Sign of Zorro from 1960 is on here.
Love that show, brother.
No.
You got to watch it. Got to watch
It's a
it.
movie.
Well, there's the TV show is like.
I don't
And in
see
the
it.
night when the pale moon is bright, there is a man named Zorro.
And of course, forgot to mention this, obviously, but you have Lady and the Tramp is on there. High School the Musical, the series. Oh, The Simpsons is on there.
Yeah, all the series, yeah.
And of course, The Mandalorian from Star Wars is on there.
And you watched
that was the first thing I watched.
Well, how was
Pop
that
that
show?
right on.
Can you
I
tell
liked
me
it.
a little bit
I
about
liked it a lot. It's not groundbreaking, but it felt to me like a super well done fan made film. Like I like that.
Where does it pick up at?
I can't really tell you about Star Wars lore, but it's about bounty hunters and whatnot, and you see familiar faces as well as mostly new faces and stuff like that. So I thought it was fun. I think Star Wars fans so far, everyone has seemed to range from like it to really love it. So I haven't heard a bad review yet, personally.
Okay.
It's a fun show. It's got a weird release schedule where I think we got episode 2 in a couple days, and then it's like every week, but then sometimes it's less. I don't know. It's a weird release schedule for that one.
So that's right. That's what they're saying with any of the original stuff. They're going to put out once a week. But again, if they're going to all of a sudden start rigging and rolling on that, that's kind of crazy. But
yeah, I saw if it was correct. Yeah, the release schedule was a little weird. Mostly it was once a week, and then a couple differences.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's based on holidays or other things or not. Maybe it's like working around.
But your
stuff.
early review of this channel, because I just want to know here, is it worth the $6.99 or should I just buy the $70 blend? If
Blend?
the $70, I could pay all $70 or pay $6.99 a month. Which would I rather be doing?
Oh, I will. Here's what I would do. I would very much do the free trial and see if it's for you. For me, I'll be honest with you. If this wasn't free, I'd probably skip it for now because I would wait until
they have
there's more Mandalorian. Wait until there's the all the Marvel shows coming out. Once that starts rolling out. Because to me, that's what I'm interested in. I'm interested in newer stuff. I'm interested in original stuff. That's why I still like Netflix because of Daybreak, Big Mouth, End of the Fucking World, so on and so on. They're releasing new content, and that's what intrigues me more. So then it's going, oh, cool, it's Princess and the Frog and Frozen and even Captain Marvel and Avengers Endgame. Cool, but I've seen it. I've probably seen it a couple times. I might own it already. You know what I mean? So that doesn't totally win me personally over.
Yes.
So get the free trial. I mean, there is so much on there.
If
you got a kid, this might be perfect for a kid.
If you have children, if you have a passion for like the vault.
Yeah,
because you looked in the vault for me and you looked around.
I'm like I said, basically everything's on there.
So it's like over 500 movies.
I
hear.
I'm sure it's a lot. Yeah.
So it's well worth watching if you're a family.
And you got all the Disney shows: Boy Meets World, Girl Meets World.
Another World Meets a World. Yeah, one shot show.
Charlie, Wizards of Waverly. I did watch one of those. I watched The Sweet Life because I like.
What about the ship? What about the ship one?
Yeah, Sweet Life's on there. Their movies on there.
Oh.
The Jonas Brothers TV shows on there.
Jonas Brothers had a television show?
They had a television show, 2 seasons, baby.
Did not even know they had one. So I knew they came from Disney, but I didn't realize it was a show.
Oh, and Camp Rock, the movies before the show.
Oh, I remember the Camp Rock for some reason. They had like 4 of those, right, or 3 or something like that.
2 or 3.
Yeah. So all in all, you'd give it a good thumbs up.
Yeah, I'm not giving it a couple. Like I said,
I don't want to say thumbs up. We don't want to get sued. So let's say if you how many snowflakes would you give it right at the bat?
I'd rather just say thumbs up.
Okay.
It's hard to give it a snowflakes. Like me personally, I give it like a 3.5. But for some people, I can see them going 5. Hardcore.
Well, what I'm saying is, right now you're looking at it. So as time moves on, we'll come back to visit that probably just to see what your attitude is toward it later.
Yeah.
So
I can see me not even bringing it up much. Like maybe to watch Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I'm not even touching it much in this next few months till the Marvel.
Until they got more of the Marvel stuff out,
yeah.
or whoever they've gotten in the can, bringing it out. So what else you watching? I could jump in a minute. if you
Avatar's
want.
on there.
What I'm watching right now. Technically, I'm watching Magnum PI. I'm catching up.
Rosie will love you for that.
I am watching the Amazon
Reynolds?
with who? No.
Selleck?
I'm watching Tom Selleck back in the
Sorry.
80s. Well, the
I-
reason is,
Said
that's
the
why
wrong mustache guy.
That's why I asked your dad what season
Yes,
he was in.
Cut to me real quick. My father is a famous TV star who was on.
He was in
Magnum
2
PI.
episodes. We found out he was in 2 episodes. He was in a hospital scene and he was with a hooker in another scene. And I can't wait.
He totally he's like he's like I've always been told it was a stripper, and later on he's like, no, it was a hooker, and I'm like, he's like I've always told you. I'm like, there's no way when I was young you told me you were with a hooker.
Yeah, so I think so. I can't wait. I think it's around the 6th season, or 5 or 6 or 9 or whatever it is.
No, you gotta watch.
I'm getting there. So which one? What do I want to watch?
Are you staring hard in the background though?
No, yeah, I will.
Corrections?
I do look at everything. I look at everything because what I like about shows like this is that even if you watch, like whenever I watched Cheers in the old days, you saw Kevin Sorbo just sitting at the bar. You know, the old Hercules guy. You saw him just sitting at the bar. Didn't say a word. Just sitting at the bar as an extra. John Hamm in the back row at a funeral and in Golden Girls. You see weird things all the time. You just don't ever pay attention to. These old shows, you have time to do that because what else are you going to do with some of them? Because if you've seen the episode already, you're watching it, but you're also rewatching it.
Stop watching Cheers reruns. That's what you do, DeJane.
No, you don't. Cheers is an awesome show, and you got to keep watching it, or it fades in the past and you forget all about it.
Everyone knows your name.
Everyone knows my name. But yeah, I've been watching a little bit of Magnum. I'm still in season 1. I've been watching the Great British Bake Off show on Netflix. It finally wrapped up. They had a release of one show a week. 3 days after the original aired in Britain. So this is the first time where technically we all got to know the winner within 3 days of the original air, which is fantastic, I think, for everybody involved. And again, Paul Hollywood and all, the greatest show ever. The greatest show ever right there. To get away.
Give me some, Jimmy. What you
Sometimes you want to go
Where everybody knows your name.
And you're always glad they came. You want to
go
be where people know. See, Jesus Christ.
the same.
You
want
wanna
to
go
go
where
where
everybody
everybody knows
knows
your
your
name.
name.
Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-doo. And so
People are all the same. You want to go
Where
where everybody knows your name.
because this show wasn't long enough already.
Yeah, but fall out of bed, Mr. Coffee's dead, the check is in the mail is the other lyrics that come after that. But anyway,
Oh, check is in the mail.
yeah. So yeah, it's a great show. But no, I've been watching that and a whole bunch of others. See, listen to those people already clapping for us. And believe it or not, I found Dinner with Don. It's on YouTube. It's only like 5-minute shows. Dinner with Don Rickles. And they have people, of course, this is before he's passed. It was on 2017. 2017, I think he died. So 2016 they were filmed. But they have great actors like Vince Vaughn comes to visit. Sarah Silverman comes to visit. Martin Scorsese and Robert De Niro come to visit at the same time. And so it's just a great show. Don Rickles just sits there and people just talk to Don Rickles and eats. And it's just it's almost like a great comedians in cars getting coffee, but this time at a dinner plate. And it's just fun. And by the way, he eats like you. He only eats beans and like little hot dogs, little cocktail hot dogs, or something funny. You eat chicken tenders, but
Yeah, how's that like me?
but know what I'm
That
saying?
sounds like
It's-
my niece.
It's almost like the same type of food. It's not like he doesn't go out there. I guess.
I had to throw in shit talk to him.
I love you though. I do. So anyway, what else? What have you been watching? What are you?
Right now, here, I'm on break. This is what I'm watching.
What are you watching?
Right now, after that Cheers came up some classic Jim Carrey bits. He was so good during his original stand-up days.
Let's play 30 seconds of it.
All right.
Put that volume up.
All right, hold on for a second. Hold on, here we go. Is that Rat Pack.
Oh, he's going with Sammy Davis. Little exaggerate movement there in the.
I'll be talking about Jim Carrey here in a minute, actually.
We are.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? That's a good seg. Well, we're not going to do segues yet, but so other than so what we're watching there, Rye. So anything else that we need to talk about? What we're watching?
What am I watching?
What are you watching?
I
Give me something good. Give us something.
No Country for Old Men.
You've been watching that again?
Yes, it keeps coming back to that.
My
Because
goodness.
He
just
does.
you just like watching people
My
get
kids
killed.
are like, play that one movie with the good guy and the bad guy, with chasing the money, and I'm like, No Country for Old Men. You're like, yeah.
Are you sure it's not the Getaway that they
Are
wanted
you
to
sure
watch?
your 9-year-old should be watching this horror
No,
movie?
they should not. And then, like, after we watch a couple of scenes, I mean, it gets real quick, and the blood comes quick in that movie.
And they're like, no.
If
let's
your
not
kids
watch
come
it
up to
again.
me asking me pick a side, heads or tails, I'm running the fuck away.
They love that scene. They're like, God, he's just creepy. Why is he hassling that old man? So we watched that.
Poor
and-
Tommy Lee Jones. He's that old man now. Well, he is that old man. Yeah.
I think he's talking about the guy in the.
Oh, the other
Scared
old
the
man.
Country
Oh,
with the
okay.
haircut.
Okay, I got you.
And then what else we watched? Pulling Excalibur, pulling the sword out.
Oh,
of
Sword and Stone?
Arthur.
King Arthur. Okay, King Arthur was a good movie.
King Arthur. Sloan likes that.
Very, very underrated film, don't you think? There, I mean, it was a very underrated film.
I don't remember.
That's with Jude Law as the king.
Jude Law, yeah.
You were there. You watched it with me, I believe.
No.
No, you didn't. No, you weren't with me. I think this is the one movie I just watched
the
without
new
you.
one? Oh, yeah, I didn't see the new one.
Hey,
Yeah, I
you
watched
know
it without
another
you.
thing I watched the other day that was on was the documentary of Jimi Hendrix. It was sitting there, so I watched it. I couldn't stop watching it. It's all interviews from the 70s, and it's neat how profound what some of these people were saying.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. Watch that, and then other than that, Rosie and I have been watching episodes of Poldark, and I've been watching a lot of YouTube lately.
Yeah.
Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of YouTube VFX films and movies and shorts and stuff.
You should watch Dinner with Dawn.
Dinner
Dinner with Dawn. There you go. It's on the AARP channel. Yes, I did turn into the AARP channel to find this. But yeah. So Jordan, anything else? You said high school movie. What was that? What the high school one that you're watching with Matthew Broderick?
Well, yeah, I said pretty much what I wanted to say about that. Yeah, Daybreak. Big bomb, it goes off, and most of the a lot of kids die, a lot of live though, and most of the adults. Well, first they think all the adults died, and then they soon find out maybe not. And a lot of flashbacks too in the first season. Matthew Broderick is the principal in the flashbacks. Fun young cast. I love the world building. You ever seen the cartoon Recess?
No, that was before. That was after my time.
That was after your time, yeah. Well, I loved Recess, and that's kind of what this reminded me of, is that just this world building of, the jocks have taken over this, and the cheerleaders, the cheermazons have taken over this, and the drama geeks are over here, and I just like that. I thought it was fun, very bloody, very curse-ridden, good time. Yeah, sure. There's the classic cartoon.
There you go. But yeah,
So I enjoyed it. I give it 4 snowflakes. Season 1's out.
I've seen the
forward to
animation, but
seeing
I've
it.
never seen the show. I've seen that screenshot, but I've never seen the show itself. But yeah,
Dawn, that AARP, Dinner with Dawn, what's that about?
it's just comedians talking to Don Rickles.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's what that is.
Yeah. Well, he was doing other research during our show
What's so funny?
because we did. I went in depth about
That
it,
was like
but
5 minutes ago.
no, I told
All
him.
of a sudden you just chime in like,
no. The
hold
reason-
on, what
no.
about Don?
He
Anytime.
what he did was he said he watches a lot of YouTubes. I said, well, if you got to watch YouTube, watch Dinner with Don on the
you guys
AARP,
jumped in.
and then we moved on.
And then you went to recess, so I jumped back because I wanted to know what it was about.
But that's fine. We're good.
Anyway.
But yeah, so that's all I'm watching. Yeah, I'm not watching much lately. It seems, other than just nothing really, other than movies itself. It seems. So I'm gonna have to get my TV watching going or YouTube watching or something.
Get it going.
So this brings me to the greatest part of the show. The greatest part that I like, because I get to sit back and watch the master work. You know what I'm talking about there, Rye?
You're talking about news and notable stuff.
Yeah, I'm thinking about
You're
that
so
news
sweet.
and notable stuff. It's such a great segment that we both are just basking in the glow of a man who otherwise wouldn't have any other outlet to give the energies that he's been giving day in, day night. It's unbelievable.
Give
So
us some energy.
so here is our funnest segment of the night. It's called
Aw.
The Aviator Does News and Notes. And Aviator, I hear you have some great no, I'm playing. It's Jordan. He's going to tell us a little bit more.
What's going on here?
No news and notes for you.
You guys are adorable.
We have
Blushing over here.
we have
Blushing.
news and notable stuff with Jordan.
So we got
Hear it.
some trailers coming out. Tell me if you guys have seen any of these
I've seen a
trailers.
lot of trailers lately.
Fantasy Island.
Very
Michael
odd, but
Pena.
I saw the international trailer. I didn't see the domestic.
Oh, I didn't know there was international. So we'll compare notes right now.
Yeah.
So Michael Pena, people come to this island and keep careful what you wish for, because evidently you're gonna get it, but in the most extreme way. It looks like a horror film. It's
They
not
took
the
a-
should obviously.
I know they took away tattoo and they replaced him with some woman.
And no, the plane. Well,
No.
they might as well take it away because they're shouldn't even call it Fantasy Island.
No.
This reminds me of the Banana Splits movie, where it just seems like you're doing a horror concept.
We're not getting those two right
No.
there.
Although Pena, was he wearing a white suit? I feel like he was.
Yes, he was. He was. I think he wearing a white suit in
Yeah.
that one. But it just seems like the horrible
might-
fantasy's gone wrong.
It might be okay, but it's probably going to be just a very.
It's a
generic horror
Blumhouse
flick.
film, so
Oh, that's actually gives me some hope.
Yeah.
How about this? How about we got a Scoob trailer?
that was awful.
It was fine.
It pained me. I don't like the guy who's doing the Scooby voice.
I don't remember.
Fred Armisen, I think.
Maybe.
But yeah, Fred Armisen. I don't know if it's Fred Armisen. Why it wasn't him? But that's the old clip right there. Tattoo.
Oh, we missed it.
Did I miss it?
Yeah, well, but yeah, the plane.
They're playing. Actually, have you
You
ever
got
seen that? A Dinner with Herb.
Yes, it
I
was
like that
very
movie a
good.
lot. Yeah, Peter Dinklage, great.
It came
great
out this
performance.
year, I believe, or did it come
Maybe
out?
late last year, early this year, maybe,
it
maybe.
was sometime in HBO this year,
Yeah.
or last year, maybe. But it was a good movie.
Yeah, we're checking it out, and good performance too from 50 Shades of Grey guy, Jamie Dornan.
Oh
or
yes,
whatever.
yes, he plays
Like,
his
surprising.
assistant or something.
Just
Or
'cause I've
the
only
reporter, right?
clips from the shitty movie. Yeah, he's the guy
Yeah.
reporting. He's the guy, doing it with him.
Yeah.
Soul teaser is out. The new Pixar
That
movie
looked interesting.
looks good. It looks like Inside Out to a degree, but I'm sure there'll be more to it.
Yeah.
It looks like Inside Out on Coco because it also looks like it's about death.
Yes,
So, but hey, man, it's Pixar doing a little bit of a different culture this time, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Invisible Man. Talk about a twist that I actually really enjoyed. This twist.
Yeah, I thought Elizabeth Moss was going to be in it, and it kicks it up to a whole nightmarish level of a Invisible Man, and I thought whenever you told me, because you told me it was coming, the movie was coming out, and I thought, well, it's got to be part of that Universal monster stuff that they've been doing, and turns out no, this is another. I think it's another Blumhouse film, I believe,
Maybe.
or
That would make sense if
Lionsgate,
it was.
but it's either Lionsgate or a Blumhouse film, and it looks. I don't even know if that's not even a part of it. I don't think so.
It's fan made or
Yeah, fan made something, but yeah, I got to tell you though, looks good. It looks scary.
I relooked that trailer. My only, and it's kind of a major complaint, is too much in that last 30 seconds again.
Yeah,
That trailer is effing beautiful. Gives you a lot of creepy vibes. Is she insane? Is she really, something's
Yeah.
going on? And the last 30 seconds, they're like, let's throw probably the last half of the movie at you. So
no, which they do so often.
I just,
anymore.
again, man, like I literally I should just start looking at the trailer lengths and cutting it off by 40 seconds.
Yeah, so that's and what you'll see in the background as we talk about it. We'll look at it a little bit, but we can't. I just that film, it just looks very. I don't know. There's something about it. Elizabeth Moss looks like she's finally getting her movie career to where she wants to be at this point, and it's going to be a good movie. I think it is just going to. This trailer did get me though.
Well, now to bring you on a downer level, next movie, I told you we're going to talk about Jim Carrey. We got a new look at Sonic the Hedgehog. They've redone Sonic.
Yes.
He's a little cuter, I guess. But
He looks a lot nicer. He doesn't look more.
He
like,
does look nicer,
He
yeah.
does not have the long, lanky runner's
he doesn't
legs.
look like he has rabies and he just shoot him behind the barn.
And he doesn't look like he's 12 foot tall. You know what I'm saying? He looked a lot bigger than
Here's
he
the
did.
bad part, though. The trailer's not much better. Actually, the trailer was a little bit better.
You know what it is?
But-
I found it looks like the exact trailer they had in the first one. They just cut the new Sonic in it.
Well, there's more to it. Like, in fact, he played it just now.
Yeah,
they
it's-
showed a bit more of his backstory in this one.
Oh, okay.
Like it starts out by him saying, "Oh, I had to come to Earth," and they show some of his previous planet. Like this is all new. This is not in the first trailer.
No, and it looks
him
nicer.
him playing baseball by himself. So, like I said, I thought this trailer was a little bit better, but there's of course an armpit joke. Didn't win me much over. Again, I'm sure I'll.
See, I didn't even see
I'll
this.
see it.
I didn't see that one at all. I didn't see this one at all. I saw the one where, this one right here coming up, where he sees him in his basement and the cameras are all over the place looking at him, and he looks at the bug ball of twine or something and says, "Oh, the big rubber band" or something, and it's not anything good. But Jim Carrey again.
Jim Carrey hamming it
You
up. My favorite moment of the show is happening right now. And that's what
What
we
is
talk
it?
about. Ben Affleck.
Oh.
So Ben Affleck is set to lead the Robert Rodriguez film Hypnotic. Affleck is set to portray the role of a detective who becomes entangled in a mystery involving his missing daughter
Ooh.
and a secret government program.
Daughter
while investigating
missing,
a
daughter
string of
gone.
impossible high-end heists. Production begins in April. So I like that, man. Actually, if you look at Affleck, he's a busy boy these next
Over under Netflix, I don't
I don't think it's announced for Netflix, but there's something coming out with him and Netflix, I believe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of projects.
And the on-screen reunion of Affleck and Matt Damon, also in the works.
That'll be fun.
Netflix, here's some news about The Witcher with our boy Henry Cavill.
Yes.
Two big things. They've already announced that they've greenlit season 2 already. They have
Good.
such faith in it that they say, we're going to go ahead and greenlit season 2.
And it looks good.
And then the writers and producers have said, we have plans at least up to season 7.
Well, I think Netflix needs to take have a branch of their own. Because we already know pretty soon Stranger Things will be leaving after I believe season 4 or 5. So they got they're on.
It is?
Yeah, they've already said
know that. Don't
they've
think we know.
well they've already stated they're not going to leave their overstay their welcome if they could do it. So Netflix needs to find that next big thing, and I think this will be the next big thing. The effects already look great. Him as the Witcher is an unbelievable look for him. See right there. There's Cavill right there. And I just think it's just going to be a good series. I can't wait for it to happen, and it's coming at the end of the month in December, I think, right? In December or something like that. So it'll be fun. I can't wait. So go ahead. What else we got?
Mark Wahlberg is in final talks for the Uncharted movie. He's set to play the mentor to Tom Holland.
Oh,
This
okay,
is
good.
kind of a prequel origin story. Not a prequel because there's no other movie.
I was
but
kind of worried there
an
for a
origin
second.
story.
I was worried for a second. That said, did Tom Holland drop out? Dear
no.
God, don't put him as the Uncharted.
But
dude.
funny enough, though,
Nathan Fillion would have been better.
this thing it's been in talks for so long. He was in talks at one point to just straight up play Nathan Drake.
Yeah. Well, Nathan Fillion actually wanted to play Nathan Drake as well, and
we
he
talked
did
about
in
that,
a short
Batman.
film. Yeah.
We talked about that on here. Yeah,
But I just find it fascinating that I was kind of worried for a moment. Thank you for not making me worry.
No. He's in talks to play the mentor. Travis Knight of Bumblebee is set to be the director. This is the first film
That'd be
of
good.
PlayStation Productions, so PlayStation does have a big hand in this.
Good job.
Hopefully, production will be in early next year, and they're looking for a December 18th, 2020 release.
Oh, that's good. It's an ambitious.
In honor, though, yeah, it is. Like, they got to film that thing.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's what happened with Jumanji. Remember the sequel? They were like, "Well, we haven't finished casting, but they were shooting up a storm." I'm like, "Well, how are you doing this? How you not casting anybody and getting your vision together on the same page?"
Yeah, it's funny how some things take their time, and other things just seem like they're like, "Let's roll. We don't have an ending. Ooh, we'll figure it out."
Yeah. We'll write one when it gets there. Let's just go one page at a time.
This one's a bummer for me as far as a horror fan. Black Christmas remake earns a PG-13. Yeah, it's coming out December 13th. For the original and the remake, both very R-rated. And I figured that's what this one's going to be, too. I mean, we even see in the trailer some girl getting like an icicle through her head.
Yeah.
But I guess it's probably going to be icicle, close to head, fade to black.
Well, lately, though, they'll allow a lot of bloodshed. You just can't say more than 2 F words. So I'm thinking we won't have that. So we won't have more than 2 F words. But you can kill a lot of people in a PG-13 film.
No, that was even my one problem with Midway to a degree. And look at The Dark Knight Rises. There's not a shit ton of blood in it. It is you can kill as many mofos as you want, sure. But unfortunately, no, you can't get that blood. There's still definitely a PG-13 blood and an R-rated blood.
But like I said, you can have a lot of violence in these films and anymore.
I don't know. As far as slashers though, it's pretty tame. I'm not. When you
All I
is
can
a
say,
slasher,
my friend, is we are not watching this in a film on a weekend or anywhere
not the
near,
first weekend.
Not even the first or second week. I'm not going anywhere near a weekend.
Monday
with this
at 10
movie.
p.m. We'll check
there
it out.
we go. Maybe a Tuesday or a Wednesday. We'll check it out when the kids are not out of school.
Worldwide XL. This is going to be one that you're going to love, Jim.
What is this?
They're the people behind bringing back James Dean.
Oh,
And they've
love 'em.
announced that they
Love
have
'em.
the rights to a lot of interesting people.
Yeah.
And they want to bring back people like James Stewart, Betty Page,
Oh
Burt Reynolds,
No.
Maya Angelou, Lana Turner, Malcolm X, and even Andre the Giant.
Can I just tell everybody this? And earmuff your kids. Fuck them. Literally.
Yeah, earmuff that 6-year-old listening to this podcast.
Yeah. I'm sorry. To me, f them hard with a unlubricated mallet because of one reason. I'm going to tell you this. Okay,
Would a lubricated mallet be that much better?
it might be. I don't know. It might go
Some
up
real
really-
talk.
Yeah, I
Clearly,
find
Jimmy does not.
we brought
own the
this up
content
last
of
time.
these
We brought
people.
this up last week. And of course, I wanted to buy Nat King Cole, but of course, his daughter owns him. But the point is, I'm tired of these people. I understand that you want to live in the past. Let's not live in the past. We got a lot of actors out there who need jobs. Jordan's been trying. Okay, Jordan's been trying hard. Okay, when I say hard, he left his couch to do one audition in the past 6 years. He tried, but you guys turned him down because you wanted to bring a dead star back to life. No, I'm just playing. But no, I at the end of the day, is sick. A lot of actors are against it. Chris Evans is just basically went nuts. Even Devon Sawa, who actually is a co-star with James Dean now in this film, it turns out, is upset like nobody's business. He goes, we have time to audition other people. Okay, there's if you really want a James Dean lookalike, they have a James Dean contest every year in his hometown. Go there. One of them has to know how to act. And this is a guy who they're giving money to be in a movie. Okay. So at the same time, I find if you're a real good actor, I understand if you want to tear it down as well. And if you're in that movie, walk away from it if you don't think it's something. If you can't get any names in that film, how is this ever going to be good for anybody? Because it's not going to be. I'm not going to watch it for James Dean. I will ban this film. I will ban it with a passion. And if you bring out any other persons that are dead, I will ban those too. Because I'll be damned if I'm going to buy into.
Let me
any
ask
of
you two
this.
things.
What?
One, are you opposed to us still using your CGI-ness for after you pass for the show?
Yes, I'm very, very well against it still. Okay.
As a wrestling fan, if there were to be like, we're releasing a new DVD or a special for the WWE Network, and it's going to be all new exclusive matches, and they can do storylines and promos and everything. And
No,
it's
I'm already going to
Giant,
answer you no.
Ultimate
Even if they
Warrior,
said, "Hey, we're going to
Owen Hart versus Eddie Guerrero.
No, we're not. And you know what? And even if they say this, we're going to bring back Andre the Giant like they said, and we're going to put him in Princess Bride 2. Carl Reiner should just shoot everyone on that set right away. Then they'll have to bring the whole cast back as CGI. I just don't find that at all interesting. I don't find it any well.
I agree, except for the wrestling one. I would watch the
Yeah,
wrestling
no,
one.
no.
You gotta see it first.
No, I cannot
gotta see the
condone.
show.
No, I cannot condone any and all acting that is not done by the actor. How are you going to credit that actor who does the role of what James Dean is going to be doing? There's going to be voiceover. There's not enough. There's not enough tape out there for that.
Movie, but I'm just
you're going to have it for everybody.
A piece of art is a piece of art.
No, it's not. It's a piece of trash at this point when you bring something like this up.
I think it's blasphemy to the soul too, man. Like, who knows that James didn't want to do this movie? Who knows that Burt Reynolds, how he would have attacked that certain character? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Would he have done an accent? Would he have done this? Like, would he want to do? I mean, he did a lot of shitty movies, but still, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, if you got
who
James-
knows that
James
James Dean would
Stewart.
go, yeah, I'll do this war flick or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah, James Stewart, you know, he believed in what he did for his career. Was he a great actor? He was a good actor. He wasn't a great actor, but at the same time, I'm not going to say that, you know, he shouldn't be in a, you know, he should not, his family should have more respect for his body of work than let some production company do what they will for it just for the dollar. Okay, plain and simple. And that's all this is. It's a big cash grab. Yeah. Let's see what we can make. James Dean is already making billions of dollars, you know, just through his death. Same with Marilyn Monroe. Same with a lot of other celebrities. The first time I ever saw that was whenever Fred Astaire danced with a Red Devil vacuum. Okay, and I didn't like it then, and I still don't like it now. So
you didn't go to Tupac Shakur's hologram?
No. Nor did I go to the Elvis on tour concert or the Roy Orbison concert as well. So I just find to me it's just a mockery of the dead.
Or Prince at the NFL at the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that was actually live at that time, wasn't it? When Prince live?
Put him up on a hologram or whatever, like.
I know what he's talking about.
Oh no, I didn't see that, but I'd still be against it. But yeah, I just find it just fascinating.
I
that
have to
can't.
see it before I can make my judgment on it.
Well, again,
I think it's shitty no matter what. Even if it's a good performance in a good movie.
I just
it's
believe that the
shitty.
working actor should have the job, not the dead.
Yeah, and that too. Like, you know,
there's more opportunity for the. Now you're going to basically say, you know what, we can make this a cheap cut rate film, and we'll just buy a bunch of nobodies, and we'll put, right now I could play John Candy, and you could play James Belushi, and you can play,
play
somebody else. But I'm just saying,
It's a sample for the movie industry.
It
could be good.
No, it's going to be an awful deal. Awful deal.
Art is what you can get away with.
Yeah, well,
and if they can, and it's good,
and it won't,
good
and I will
good.
make sure of it.
We'll see. We'll see how.
You know what? The world fascinates me.
Yeah, it makes me sick sometimes when I look at
On
it.
your wall.
So anyway,
Andy
what else?
Warhol.
What other things do you have to aggravate me? I apologize for going on such a bad rant.
Here's one that
disgust me.
You
Thank
probably don't care
Glad
about
we
either.
didn't have our popcorn, Jordan, because we would have been fighting with this guy. He would have threw us right out of the movie theater.
No cuddle in the night, now, guys. I'm just sorry. I'm no cuddle in the night.
Here's one you're probably not a big fan of, but a way bigger fan of than the last thing. I want to talk about this as soon as I saw it, but the news popped right after we filmed our last show, and that's from the studio bringing back Hellraiser. They're bringing back Ghostface. Scream 5 is in the works, and I am so excited for this.
Why?
I hope they cast James Dean. I hope they cast Burt Reynolds.
Oh, you know what? How's this?
Take off the mask. It's me, Andre.
There you go. You know what? There. You can bring back a dead man as a ghost if you want. But I do not think that you need to have. I don't even think Scream needs to be remade. It was the classics like you wanted it. It's perfect the way it is. They should have stopped at 2. Maybe stopped at 1. Really, but. I just find
I'll defend all of them to a degree.
Yeah,
they're a lot better than any
the
Jason and most Freddy remakes or sequels.
Why are we remaking this film?
Well, here's
besides the cash grab.
It is a cash grab. It's reboot culture. It's remake culture. I'm just saying I'm up for it because so far I think all 4 are watchable, fun horror fests, and hopefully you can find sort of new, different way. If you read the original script for Scream 3, they had a really cool, interesting take with it that they kind of backed off on to kind of do the same old shtick. So I'm just saying it has potential. So far, Scream has not lost me as a fan. Jason's lost me as a fan. Freddy has. Scream hasn't done that yet. I think even the worst Scream is still a watchable flick. And it's a big part of my horror childhood. So I'm just excited to see Ghostface back on screen.
But here's the deal.
Nev Campbell back in the day.
But here's what I'm trying to get at though is why is it that Hollywood, and we've discussed this a lot on the show and off the show, Hollywood cannot come up with anything original anymore, and it's killing me. You know, and it I saw it last
We
Christmas.
saw that Hitler one, Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah, that's original. But here's the deal: why do I have to have another Scream? Why do I have to have another?
don't have
Rambo?
to watch it, Billy.
Why do we have to have all these reboots? I'm just at this time
Because money speaks, baby.
Man,
money walks,
speaks,
money
but
talks.
it goes to show you how the culture has not even doesn't want to even grow anymore. You want to just always just go and
you say that,
rekindle
but
the
yet
past.
Dizzle just knocked you down 2 pegs by naming original stuff that we both really like.
Well, no, I'm
So
not
they
saying
both exist.
but they exist. But do they get buried? Yes, they get a lot buried. Jojo Rabbit gets
Unfortunately,
buried.
people voting with their wallet too.
Peanut Butter Falcon gets buried.
Yeah,
Movies
how
that
come
we
I can't
love.
watch Peanut Butter Falcon, and then what's this Rosamund Pike movie with the physicist?
Yeah, that comes out in 2020.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
'Cause
so-
I'm trying to track that down. I can't even
Yeah.
see
You
it.
can watch Peanut Butter Falcon. Watch it right now.
Yeah, you can watch. You can buy it now. It's
You
out to
can?
buy finally.
Blu-ray, digital. In fact, I was going to talk about that here in a second.
But what I'm saying is, those movies get pushed to the side because of all these other big remake blockbuster type films.
there's a problem with that. Yeah.
And I think to me that's the culture that we're unfortunately living in, where people are not wanting to go search for those films. You know, I'm already upset with our local theater for them always saying that Parasite's coming, but I don't see it ever coming. There's other films that are coming that they're never going to put in our theater. Why? And I've yet to get an answer for. I think it's I know it's probably by choice by the distributor. But
no, it's probably the theater going. I don't think
but-
we're going to make enough money to bother paying the rights to show it.
Oh, yeah, but if you have like 20 theater shots, screens that you have, 20 screens, one could actually go to Parasite.
I think
You could put your
correct
smallest
me.
one.
Hold on. Correct me, but I don't think that's the way to look at it. That's the way to look at it blankly, but I believe they pay in order to show that movie where they're showing it in one screen and they're showing it in 40 screen.
Yeah.
And it has to even out.
It will. I would think it would, because this one is actually very
Maybe.
critically
I could be
acclaimed. But what I'm saying is, people are afraid to try something new, so that's why they bring these old ones back, because it's like comfort food. People just keep coming back, and I don't know why. I just don't understand it. Yeah, I will come back for the next segment. I think you have. I don't know if you got it or not, but
Can I put this Parasite trailer on for a second? Is this what you're talking about?
yeah, that's the film right there.
Now,
It's
what's going on here? What is this about?
it's like a dark comedy slash film. It looks just beautiful. It looks great.
It does
It's about a
look beautiful.
guy who's trying to get out of the slums. It's a class division.
Where's it filmed at?
I believe it's either Korea or Japan.
It looks like South Korea.
But so it's just built on a class structure, and one guy's trying to get to like a tutor job, in which goes up. So I think it's just a fascinating story. It's just about a culture clash of rich man, poor man.
I know me and you will mention how we very much do want to see this.
Yeah, this movie is.
I don't always like
Let
subtitles.
me know
No,
when
you
guys
don't.
wanna see this.
Well, if we ever find it, we will gladly bring you to it. But yeah, speaking. Okay, now you're gonna call the kettle black, because I'm gonna bring up something you probably, I don't know if you have it on your news or notes, but
Maybe not. I'm almost done.
our good fan, I'm a good fan of Gerard Butler, came out
I
that
don't have this actually.
there are 3 other possible Fallen films in the book work, and of course they're beating a dead horse, but I will keep riding that dead horse because they're original dead horses.
You hypocritical son of a bitch.
I told you, pot calling kettle black at this point.
Okay, so you admit it.
Yeah, I admit
Okay,
it.
then I'll back down.
But I do enjoy a Gerard Butler film, and if he's in all 3, I will be happy
Who
after
wanted
this.
me to Scream 5? Oh, Angela's Fallen 7? Sold!
But it's a different Fallen. I don't know what's gonna fall next. What's gonna fall next? That's what I want to know. There are 3 Fallens, and then they're thinking, hey, not only could we do 3 more movies, we can do a series. And I'll be like, I'm in.
I
Okay.
thought I heard that.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways, and they're thinking of franchising out to different countries so they can have their own Fallen series as well. So I'm a very big fan of Gerard Butler. And there he is. Butler has fallen. I don't know if it's a bad thing or not, but I think it's a great thing for Gerard and the movie industry. And Lionsgate is spearheading the charge. So good thing, Lionsgate. Keep up the good work. We got any more?
So sometimes they're beating a dead horse and they don't come up with new ideas, but if it's Fallen, we're all good with that. That's what I'm.
Like I said,
He's all good with it.
I called myself out on it, but again, they make money, and so therefore, there's no way you cannot say no to those movies. So go ahead,
Let me
Jordan.
ask you a question.
Yeah, go
This is
ahead.
serious, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
If Gerard dies,
I will be
And
upset.
they have a
I
chance
know where you're going with this.
to remake some Fallen videos. You know, if we go to like 8, 9, 10, 11, are you down? Are you okay with that?
No, I'm not, because we could have son of Gerard. But I just look at it this way:
You'd be first in line.
But if here's the deal, here's what I'm okay with, and the Crow, the movie The Crow, did okay for me in this as well. Brandon Lee died in the middle of making that film, or toward the end of making that film.
What?
Now, they use CGI to put his face on to finish up those scenes. Now, if that happens with Gerard Butler in one of these films, yes, they should just finish it up with Gerard Butler as much as you can and CGI him into that face. Other than that, after that, he's done. You got to fix him. You got to do something on that character. So I believe that's the only way to go about it. So you could Crow him one time if you have to. You could Brandon Lee the man one time if it helps the one film to go the distance. But I don't believe in bringing him in for like a whole new sector, like 30 years down the road. Maybe after I'm dead. Yeah, sure, do it. But let's not do it while I'm alive. So what else you got for me, Jay?
We're going to wrap this up here pretty soon here. A little bit of Joker spoilers. So if you don't want a spoiler to a degree,
Turn your
fast
volume
forward
down.
like a quick minute here.
Or
so.
turn your volume down and just watch
But,
us animatedly look like crazy.
And I'll do a quick like wave again. If you've seen, you've seen Joker.
We've all seen it. Yeah,
Dizzle.
he went to watch it as well.
Okay,
we've
so-
all seen it.
A lot of people have been questioning: does Zazie Beetz' character, does she die? Because the last you see is her telling him, "Please leave," and the realization of, oh, he's been making up this whole love story. John Phillips has gone on record of saying, no, she lives.
Yeah, she lives.
He said that they even shot a scene of her watching the Robert De Niro show later at night, and he said that was all cut because if you notice, the whole film's from his perspective.
Yeah.
It never really leaves Joaquin Phoenix's side. He said there's even a great scene with De Niro and Mark Maron that he had to cut because it felt off from where they were going with it.
Yeah.
And he said, and if you look like the big bloody scene, he lets the dwarf go because he was nice, and so is she. He has no reason to kill her. He's going against people that have wronged him.
Yeah, he's
So-
never. Yeah, and I never even thought she was dead.
I didn't think about it till later on. When someone mentioned it, I just went, "Oh yeah, that is true," because he is in the middle of her living room. Who knows? And you don't see her, so I could see why people thought that. But it is true when you think about the character really himself. He doesn't go against after anyone just randomly.
Yeah.
and especially nice people. Like he's going against people that have wronged him. So.
And she was nice to him in the elevator, so that that's how
Yeah,
I.
and
plus,
she's a mother. He's not
Yeah.
looking. He's like, no, we didn't have him kill a single mother, and we sure shouldn't have him kill a child.
Yeah.
like no,
maybe later on the Joker will do that, but not right now.
no. Right now, he's fine. Arthur Fleck didn't
Yeah.
do that. You mentioned where is it? Oh. Peanut Butter Falcon. I was going to actually do a quick rundown for the first time ever on the show. Talk about out now on digital and Blu-ray.
Well, that's good.
If you
I
want
like
to check
it.
out stuff at home, just dropping last night was Good Boys. We both recommend Good Boys.
Yep.
Peanut Butter Falcon, we both highly recommend, right?
Highly recommend.
Angry Birds 2 is out.
Yeah.
Recommend-ish.
We only
40
got it because we were free.
I have 47 meters out. It's 20. Is it 47 or 27?
It's 47. 47
Okay, I wrote
meters.
the right thing.
More.
Uncaged. That's
is that
out.
what it's called?
The
Okay.
Farewell is out. I know you mentioned you wanted to see that
Yep,
with
yep,
Awkwafina.
yep.
Steven Universe, the movie. Cross 2, Rise of the Villains, which is a direct-to-DVD sequel of a direct-to-DVD movie with Brian Austin Green. And Heather's 30th anniversary dropped.
And don't forget though, you can also in early access, I believe, on some other spots. Dora the Explorer is out to watch now as well. So there you go. I keep plugging that film and plugging that film and plugging that film.
Desperately trying to get it to beat your Once Upon a Time.
No, the deal's done. The money's
It's
been
over.
given.
But
Well,
I
I mean, hey,
I'll
you
have
could win it back.
lifetime. I
Lifetime
can get it.
achievement.
Nah,
No, I didn't. First of all, I never made that deal.
We've never made that bet, but I'm fine
I
with
don't even
that.
know those numbers are out there to make that deal.
We'll find them one day.
All right, the box office from this week, guys. Number 5 was Terminator: Dark Fate, making another 10 million, bringing that to 48 million.
Oh Jesus.
Number 4, and the rest of these are all debuts actually. 4, Last Christmas made 11 million.
Woo!
Number 3, Playing with Fire made 12 million.
Look at you going to
Number
watch
2,
number
Doctor
3.
Sleep underperforming
Yeah.
at 14 million, and number 1 was Midway at 17 million dollars. Biggest surprise of that was both the success of Midway and even Playing with Fire over expectations. Way under expectations, Doctor Sleep, man.
Again, I don't know where the deal is. It's got a lot of hype. We're going to review it next week.
A lot of people mention, and this is where maybe your point comes into counter effect. if this had been called or more heavily referred to as like The Shining 2 or The Shining: Doctor Sleep, maybe this would have made more money. Sadly, I don't know. Was it just because it was a more of a dour trailer? Or I don't know, because I mean, I thought this thing had money written on it.
And to me, it sucked me in as well.
Ewan
The trailer.
McGregor, who I think is a great leading man, when given the
Absolutely.
right thing. He's a great leading man no matter what, but he's made some missteps. But for the most part,
every actor has.
Stephen King, I thought was hot because Pet Sematary overperformed from expectations and was just okay.
And he has his new Hulu coming out, the new Hulu show that's out there.
Yeah, the Hulu shows have been getting great review. Both movies made money, and so I thought this thing had money written on it. But very underperformed, coming in number 2. What the hell are you playing? Oh, Fortnite.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just like, is this the Dr. Sleep video game? I don't know what you're playing.
In the room.
Is this them right? Oh, okay. Is this actually them?
Babysitting.
Yeah. See, no one could ever say you're not a good father.
You're always watching the kids, make sure they're out of trouble. But yeah, I don't understand myself, but we'll watch it. We'll
We'll
find
give you a
out.
review of.
But again,
Dr. Sleep.
Terminator not doing great here, but doing well over domestic. Domestically not doing great, but internationally is ranked at over 100 million already. So again, we don't know what was wrong with America. What's wrong with you, America?
And last but not least, maybe we'll have more reviews for you because coming up in a couple days, guys, dropping in a theater near you, we have Charlie's Angels, Ford v Ferrari,
Oh, I can't wait for that.
and Good Liar.
Good liar. Well, I'm a good
Michael-
liar saying I can't wait to watch Charlie's Angels. You saw what I did there?
Go back 1 second. I like that.
Terminator was the production on it?
It was like
I don't know.
168.
You
168.
gotta look these up. We don't know, dude.
No, they're gonna make 168. It's only made like 34, about 50 million in the States. It's made
Million so far, 200.
so it's made the rest of it outside the States.
And then the marketing and stuff. It's at break-even point.
Yeah, they're barely making. They're gonna set content all the way through this.
I'll be back depending on overseas revenue.
Absolutely, and China will back it if it does well there. Hasn't even released in China, I don't think yet.
After that 10-year mark, when we re-promote it on the podcast, I bet you
It'll be the number one
it'll
best.
be number one.
You know, because everyone's gonna be dead, and they're gonna have their. Oh, look, we could use another Arnold Schwarzenegger.
We could reuse them.
Yeah, we could.
Put them back in.
Dear God, help us all. I think on that note, we should wrap her up. Or do you have any more news?
Then they won't
That's
make
it, buddy.
money.
No, we're done. We're done.
Terminator's gonna make money when we put it.
No more.
For Dizzle, Dutch, and JPO, guys.
Dear God, people, help
Don't
me.
worry, we're not getting canceled because when we're dead, it'll just be our CGI faces.
Except for mine. I have not yet told you can have mine. My family, they might sell
I'm
me.
replacing you with
They
Andre
might
the
sell me
Giant.
anyway. Why not? He's
Me like Joker.
Oh, you know,
When I went in on the Joker, it was a very good movie. You want a peanut? Give me a peanut.
The Giants still to this day is
His 7-foot wonder.
what was the
His size 400 foot.
Size 400.
I don't know. I'm just coming up with stupid numbers now.
Do you consider him a former world champion?
No,
he was a great.
never had the championship.
No, that's not a debate about whether you think he's a good wrestler or that kind of guy. There's a debate as to whether or not he ever is technically a former world champion.
No, because he never won it.
Well, he did though.
Did he win it? When did he win it?
He won it, remember, and then he was going to give it to DiBiase, and then they're like, no, you can't just give it to DiBiase, and then they vacated it for WrestleMania 4.
Well, no. Well, the reason why I would say no is because number one, it wasn't the right referee who counted it anyway.
That's why there is a debate, a controversy as to whether or not you do count him or not. I wonder if the WWE does recognize him or not.
I don't think they do.
No.
I don't think they ever. They've never said that he's a champion.
But did you know I am a former AMP and RPW hardcore champion?
Yeah, you told me that.
Fun facts, former champion.
Oh my God, there's Jimmy, right there with your red with the soda.
Oh, there I am. Look at me in that nice little bandana and my cleavage showing. Is that
He's
unbelievable?
a real American. Fight for
Absolutely.
the rights of every
person.
man. He
No,
is
hey,
a real American.
Person. Being a person.
Fight for your rights.